Hold together, stream. Hello, everybody.
Hello, stream.
Hello, stream. Hello, world. Guys,
Hello,
welcome
world.
to Stealthy Elf Productions. We are going to play a little bit of Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you tonight. This is canonically the second zero session, but actually the first zero session of our new campaign, New World Rebellion, part of the Heroes Histaeria post-apocalyptic alien invasion machine takeover world. Tonight we are doing the zero session for two really unique, really awesome characters. Guys, do you want to say who you are and then we'll talk your characters?
Sure.
Yeah, Adam, go first.
Oh, okay. Hi, madam. Tonight I'm playing Isfet. He, they pronouns, also my pronouns. Am I doing like a full intro or am I
You just say who you are, where people can find you, kind of like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can find me online under the name Mr. Adup. That's MRADDUP. Do the voice acting, do the cosplaying, do the TTRPGs. That's me.
That's it.
Go for it, button.
Hello, I'm Button, and I am playing Amanita. Its pronouns. I use they, them pronouns. I'm Blue Button on social media, and when I'm not here, you can find me also on this channel. You can find Adam there too. They didn't
That's
say
true.
it.
I didn't.
You can find all of us here in the Unearthed Inheritance campaign, and then when I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign, where I play Echinacea Belrose, a wizard with a husband that they remember, and they're working through it.
It's a process. Everything, right, one foot in front of the other.
One in front of the other.
And guys, my name is David. I'm going to be your GM this evening. My pronouns are he, him. And you can catch me here as the game master of all three of our Heroes of Histaeria games. That includes this one, New World Rebellion. It includes Unearthed Inheritance. And it includes Sandsea Saga. They are all concurrent campaigns in the same timeline. So yeah, it's real fun.
Coconut Current.
Yeah.
Coconut
currents. And then you can also catch me over at Tales Archived, where I play Whistle, the Hobgoblin Fighter in the Known Realms Telesh campaign every Sunday. Guys, Hannah's telling me you guys both just got hero points as well. So you can go ahead. So you'll be starting with 2 hero points when we get started here.
Wow.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alec.
And
Thank you, baby.
hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
Guys, we're going to play some Pathfinder 2nd Edition here soon, but before we do, let's talk about these new characters. Let's see who they are. Let's hear about them. Talk to us about your inspiration for the character, their build if you want to get into it, ancestry, background, class. Pathfinder gives us that nice ABC way of thinking about our characters. Anybody want to go first, or do you want to roll for it?
I like rolling for it. Yeah, rollies.
All right, rollies. Rollies it is.
Beat a 2.
I got a 5.
All right.
Oof. We're getting them out. This is good. We're not in character yet.
I was like, what's this gonna be, huh?
Let's see. I believe I went alphabetical here. So this is... All right, guys. So our first look at Isfet. Boom. There he is.
That's my boy.
Look at his fit. Oh.
Look at his fit on Isfet.
There we go.
Fit on Isfet.
He's fit and is fit.
Is fit.
So this is my boy. I don't know. Inspiration for the character was I wanted to make a real bastard. Like, truthfully, I wanted to make a real bastard.
This is the campaign for it, so that's perfect.
I was like, hey, David, because I pitched it to you, and I was like, is this an okay idea? Like, he's just a real piece of work. And you were like, yeah, go for it, man. Like, and for like clothing inspiration, I was like, I want this guy to kind of feel like a royal who isn't like necessarily in the castle all the time. That's what I was kind of going for, was this like high class individual who's like, you don't seem like an adventurer, you don't seem like you know what you're doing, but for some reason we're bringing you along. So it's very like fancy clothes and Yeah, he's Shisk, which are kind of the easiest description of them in 2e is like porcupine people.
Yeah, people with spikes.
They're like monstrous porcupine people because they like a lot of them have like uh little like quills and spikes just growing out of their
Mhm.
extremities. And I was like, I like this evil look of like sharp teeth and quills coming out of the face, and
I
yeah,
have a consent question for you now before we get into game, and no is a valid answer.
yeah,
Is Amanita allowed to think that you are part cactus?
that's absolutely valid. Yes,
All right.
absolutely sure. Absolutely, that's hilarious. I love that.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so he's just his background is he's a tall tale.
Mm. We don't have to get to like
I don't
share
know.
what you feel comfortable with.
Oh
but-
yeah, no, I felt comfortable sharing. It's tall tale. Who knows what he actually is?
Mhm.
And my class is I'm a summoner. So, and we'll maybe who knows? Maybe we'll see the summon sometime.
Maybe we'll see the summon
Maybe.
sometime. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I might use them. I might, use my class the proper way to play my class.
I'm a summoner, but on occasion.
I never summon.
I just never use the summon.
I just don't do any damage or really do anything.
I'm here.
I showed up.
And quick shout out, I just want to mention, like, though Isfet is the imaginations of Adam, it was brought to life in this rendition by Ollie, who plays Lycus,
Yes.
also in our Heroes of Histaeria series, and who will be on not the next Zero session, because that's going to be Fenrir and Hazel, but the following, our last Zero session, you will see Ollie. But yeah, Ollie, thanks for the art. This is amazing.
Thank you, Ollie.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
So evocative too of everyone's personalities.
Yeah. You did a
Which is
great job.
impressive as we've not played together yet.
Right.
Right.
And this cast has a lot of personality. Okay. Button.
Me.
Okay, here we go. This is
Drum roll.
Amanita.
That's Amanita. They, or I keep saying they. My pronouns are they, them. Guys, I'm going to struggle with this. Probably the rest of the table will too. But
Yep.
Amanita's
Yeah.
pronouns are its. And again, we're not going to yell at anyone about that. Pronouns are hard. But we are starting out with its pronouns. Amanita is a little 2-foot tall fungus leshy. For those who don't know, leshy are little plant humanoids. And they are often familiars, as is Amanita so far. It is a
Accurate.
curandero for a witch, a little gardener and healer for the witch's small community, and the class is kineticist. So you can see Amanita has this bright red cap that is just a part of its physical makeup, and then its high fae is kind of just pale. And in terms of like physical form, it is a plant that sort of became functionally like the barest bit of humanoid possible to walk around. It walks like this with little arms that instead of having proper hands have these little fronds at the end that it can kind of maneuver things with. The legs are really just glorified stumps. It is very slow. I imagine it kind of bobbling. Yeah, stumpy legs, sort of bobbling. It definitely looks like a cousin to Toad, and that is by design. Um,
Yeah.
I really want to point out, just because I don't know. No, I'll save that. The inspiration here, what I wanted to explore was the notion of fighting between self-actualization and dehumanization. So its are a very intentional choice for its pronouns. Amanita is the thing that tends a garden. It is the thing that is an aid to this witch who is a proper person, and it does not see itself, nor does really anyone around it, as a person.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Ooh, am I on? Yeah, that's gonna be a really fun story to explore. Yeah, the whole idea of, especially as a familiar trying to explore personhood, like, you know, you're innately tied to that witch. It's gonna be great. Also,
Yeah.
hello raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
Hello
Hello,
raiders.
Raiders.
So this is kind of what it would look like in scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes, yes,
forgot to
yes.
mention Isfet is like 6 foot tall,
Oh
so
Small and
boy.
tall.
it's small and tall. That's their duo.
No. Eh. Oh no, Isfit's
Ah,
token. I want to bring to front. There we go. I also really like
think.
that they're kind of in similar poses.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it is copying Isfet. It's like looking up and practicing, but it like can't quite get it right. It's just in constant teeter-totter.
that's exactly what I was thinking. That's awesome. They're great. It's great.
It's just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
It's just like, ha 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 ha.
Amanita has
God,
no
I
idea
can't
what's
wait.
going on, but happy to be here.
Teehee.
Yes, Amanita, I think we are up until wherever we are now. Amanita has never left its garden.
Mm,
It's a pretty
Mhm.
blank slate.
yeah. Yeah.
I hope the first person it encounters who isn't its witch, Makine, is a virtuous and lovely person who can guide it to become a real good thing.
I'm
Oh.
the
Yeah.
right person for that job.
And Isfit's been in the world and then some. So yeah, Isfit's got a few things that they can teach Amanita at this point.
I have a lot of things I can teach Amanita.
Oh man.
You know, lying is one of them. Being a person in society is another one. Rule following is not one.
Well, it's the end of the world. Who's really enforcing those rules anyway?
Oh, indeed.
It's a new world. And I think on that note, guys, how do you feel about jumping into some game time?
Let's go.
We ready?
fucking go.
We ready? Okay.
Ah!
All right. Let's get some actual.
Start
I'm glad we
freaking
all
out.
decided to breathe
Right.
frantically, but in different ways.
Run off screen.
Real quick, just folks watching, before we get in here, I just want to go over some quick content warnings. This game is going to be pretty violent. It's going to cover a lot of heavy topics. We are going to see gore, drug use, talks about addiction, exploitation. It's going to be a pretty heavy game. So if you feel at any times you gotta go, hey, you do you. Take care of yourself. All right, guys. Let's do this. Also, quick warning for stream: we've been having some issues with Soundtales. If it sounds funny, just let us know in chat. We will try to sort it out. Okay. So. Oh. Our story begins amidst the war for the continent of Histaeria. The monarch's invasion has begun. The red moon has appeared in the sky, thus causing the seas to roil, rise, and roll over much of the coasts. Then, the Brahm and Arbiters fell from the sky, and the culling of humanity began. The sheer tragedy of the last few months has been almost unbearable. And yet, small bastions of what now passes for civilization remains. Communities that manage to defend themselves against the monarch's murderous machines, guarded places, paranoid and terrified of the next tragedy to come, but still standing. This is true for the city of Red Hessel, whose destiny is still being shaped by those within its walls. We find ourselves hustling through the darkened alleyways, streaming past now abandoned buildings of Red Hessel's harbor district. Signs of recent flooding abound, debris haphazardly littered parts of any given passage, heaps of sand covering the cobblestones, and there's the smell of fish and seaweed that permeates even in tonight's stiff breeze. A slight figure in a far too large cloak quickly weaves around the obstacles and squeezes through or ducks under any small passage. The long, trailing hood is up and flops over the top of the person. It's much too large. And behind them, running as fast as it can to keep up, is another figure, draped in a similar cloak in a fashion similar to its larger counterpart. They dash through the city. They rush past a few other people who find themselves in these outskirts of the city's districts. But all of the people that they pass, none seem to have the will to fathom any curiosity at the cloaked figures. They are lounging in quiet, dark corners, and they seem to be caught in a euphoric haze, reliving better memories. The two abruptly turn down a shadowy alleyway, and then suddenly stop. The taller of the two peers back around the corner carefully, and spends a few breathy seconds waiting for something to reveal itself, it seems. And after a moment, satisfied or not, they turn back, and the two head down the alleyway. They're passing a few colored streamers that kind of hang lifelessly along the walls. Some even bridge the canopy over top between the now two vacant husks of buildings. There is a vague smell of perfume that is mostly overpowered by that kind of caustic, earthy smell of the broken streets. Shattered glass breaks underfoot. You pass splintered planks of wood. Sand piles and pools of standing water are all hazards that the two overcome as they squeeze between these dilapidated buildings. Eventually, the alley finally opens up into a small, hidden plaza. The center of the plaza is mostly open in a rectangular shape, 3 buildings closing it in on each side, and debris mostly blocking the alleys in between these buildings. Directly ahead of the two figures is the largest of the 3 buildings. You can see it's got a stone and wood porch that extends off the back to a pair of double doors left wide open, and a few remaining strands of hanging beads and bohemian streaming fabrics still cling to the now ruined door frame. Lightless broken windows on either side, giving just a brief glimpse into the terror and tragedy that this place has sustained. And on the front of the building, just above the porch, is a small balcony that seems to kind of hang over the plaza, as though it's about to fall off of this now empty facade. A voice rings out from above, and a dull, sickly green glow illuminates the stone as a tall, lanky figure steps into view. What an honor it is to receive the good witch Maikine this evening. I can't recall the last time you dared venture beyond your wards. The taller of the two figures, this tall figure now looming into the plaza, you can see is an older human-looking man. His face is long, triangular, is very gaunt. You can see he's got a long hooked nose, thin blue gray lips. His eyes are sunken under a heavy brow. And there are strange jewels kind of fused to his face along his cheekbones, along the forehead and the chin. He has long, wavy purple and rust-colored hair that kind of extends up tall and then kind of flops over to the side. And as he leans forward, you can see that he is wearing a nobleman's frock. It's very heavy satin pads, of a dark green, so dark it's almost black, but in this kind of green glow, it kind of brings it out. And he's got these heavy gold chains along the neck. And the light seems to be coming from his staff. There's looks like an emerald fixed to the top of the staff as he kind of leans forward. Mikey, the witch, turns around and leans down and whispers to you, Amanita. All right. I need you to promise you're going to listen to everything I say.
Amanita, which has been staring up at this man who it has seen before, a man who tempted them with promises of a garden, told it that it could be his gardener. Amanita has to tear its eyes away from this man as it has been dreaming each night, for plants do dream of the magical, wonderful garden that he must have. But it dutifully tears its eyes away, and it looks to the witch Maikine. It's witch. I will listen to everything you have to say. As always, mistress.
She gives a squeeze of the shoulder and turns back up, pulls the hood back, and reveals her face. As she's doing so, she keeps one hand to kind of keep the witch's hat on as she peels the hood back, because she's of course wearing the witch's hat under the hood. The top is kind of like bent somewhat to the side, but you see a young, dark-skinned witch with silvery hair and almost pitch black eyes, but instead of pupils, there's little pinpricks of white, almost kind of giving the appearance of the night sky. And they're behind these two big round glasses. And as she kind of looks up towards this figure, this strange man, there's a look of serenity over her, as though she's confident. There's a confidence about her. And she looks up at the man and says, I see you've taken over the menagerie. Yes, it is under new management for the moment. You've come looking for the madame. I expect finding me is a surprise. She holds the stare. No. You have your part to play, and I have mine. So you surrender? No. I didn't. I won't surrender. Or rather, I won't come quietly. You speak as though you have some say in the matter, witch. Perhaps my associates might like to disagree. And several people now kind of begin to emerge from the shadowy corners. You can see that all sorts of folks are coming out. A few rough-looking people, a few rough-looking guys. And towards the path that you just came from, you see is now blocked by someone else. Adam, could you describe Isfet as they move into scene here?
Absolutely. So Isfet steps around the corner and I think is just leaning against the corner and is fully not paying attention to what's happening. I think he kind of misses his cue of that moment of like, oh, like my associates. And I think there's like definitely a pause of like, where the fuck? And he steps around the corner and he's just fixing some rings on his fingers and is like still rolling his sleeves up and like does not look like he gives a shit at what is going on. And is just leaning against one of the corners of the thing and is just like, kind of waves like, "Ah, sorry, my bad," and like keeps rolling the sleeves up and just does not give a shit about what this conversation is.
Amanita, can we get your initial reaction upon seeing this crowd come out? And I think Isfet, because coming into the path that you had just entered from, it probably catches your eye a good bit here. Any initial reactions from Amanita?
Yeah, I think that it might come as a little bit of surprise to those who are paying perhaps more attention to the scene, therefore, unsurprisingly to Isfet. Amanita doesn't look frightened. It also doesn't look like it knows what's going on. It's observing people emerging, and it knows that its witch is confident. And so I think as it sees everyone emerging, it is sort of looking at everyone for potential injuries to see if they might need help or to see if anyone is looking undernourished. Because whenever it has seen others in the past, people who aren't its witch, it's been to help them. So there's this look of sort of vacant, mild curiosity, and I think its eyes, which have been dark orbs, much like its witches, but vacant, absent of any light, sort of change as just a single pinprick of starlight, one star in each eye appears as it begins to just gently assess everyone.
Your gentle assessment is interrupted as suddenly you feel Maikine's hands hold your shoulders, turns you towards her, and looks at you dead in the eyes, and says, "Amanita, this is it. We're going to be apart for a little bit, but I know you're going to find me."
Oh, then I shall find you, mistress.
Okay. Amanita squeezes you, and you can feel there's a flutter in her chest that you haven't felt before. You can feel the warm tears kind of forming on the cheek up against you. Amanita, you have to choose. But first, you need to run. And turns and pushes you away as she stands up quickly and turns back to face Lilantos. Amanita, what do you do in that moment?
A proper adventurer, and even just a proper person, might pause as the person it loves best seems to be confronting something. But Amanita is a dutiful familiar, and it has been told to run, and before that, it was asked to obey. So it obeys, and arms out to either side, bobbling, its big red cap too heavy for its head and the neck upon its fibrous shoulders. Its little stumps do carry it in whatever direction Maikine has pointed in. And I think that the tragedy of this moment is that it doesn't realize that it could look back.
And Amanita, you dutifully quickly stomp away right past Isfet. Isfet, you watch as as Amanita, just 2 feet tall, just moves right past you dutifully, just
I think Isfit is like messing with his nails and like hears the and like looks over and just with this almost maliciously, anybody else would probably think this is a threat. It's this smile, which is just this little wave as you run by, and it's just this like horrible visage of like its sharp teeth, spikes, like sharp nails, like just by as you run by, and he's just still fixing his nails and just doesn't think you're the target, so he's not gonna stop you. Like,
Lilantos.
Isfit waves.
Oh, sorry. Go.
Oh,
No, go.
Isfit waves, and I think Amanita, that has been taught to be courteous to guests and to the people who arrive at the cottage, gives a very dutiful little like no, a bit bronze in return, but continues running. It's just
Isfet's
this
head just
very
tilts a
oddly
little.
sweet interaction.
It's like, okay. Like,
Meanwhile, as this is happening, Amanita, you start making it back down the alleyway, as the nobleman in the tower, or in the balcony, Lelantos, calls out, Isfet, what are you doing?
well, to my knowledge, that was the target, not that. So didn't want to intervene in your plans.
Oh, very well. After it, and bring it back alive. We'll deal with the
Gotcha.
witch.
You sure? Because like I'm pretty handy with. Absolutely sure about that idea, boss. And it's like very like, oh, I guess I'll put in effort. Like,
Growing frustrated by you and the witch Maikine, kind of strikes the cobble beneath with the staff and says, Yes, that's an order.
fine. It's in order. And like turns around and starts just. It is this thing of like it's not like full sprint. It's very much like a light jog at first, and realizes he's still in the alleyway. He's like shit, and like goes into like a full sprint after you.
As you decide to turn and commit to the chase, just as you're turning, you look up and Maikine is looking right back at you with those same celestial eyes. And as you wink, there's a
Oh, there's fully a like.
there's a
and he
full cheeky
smiles.
wink, yeah, and she smiles back at you with a confidence.
Yeah. And I'm going to sprint after this little mushroom gliding, like wobbling little figure that has just gone away from me.
Fantastic. All right, then let's hop into our chase scene. As you are going after, as you are running after Amanita, we're going to go ahead and use the 2E chase subsystem because this is still a dice game. So let's see how this plays out.
Nice.
Okay, so the way this works is, Amanita, you are going to be one obstacle ahead of Isfet, okay? Each round, you guys are going to make some skill checks or attack rolls, or you can request saving throws to try to navigate an obstacle, right? Each attempt, you earn points. Each obstacle has a set amount of points you need to meet before you can move on to the next obstacle. If Isfet catches up to you, Amanita, then chase is over and you've been caught. If you get 3 obstacles away from Isfet, then the chase is also over and you've escaped.
Okay.
Okay, so we are going to go into it. This cramped alleyway that you are running through, this is our first obstacle. All right, there are a whole bunch of things in the way. There are boards that are kind of leaning over. There are breaks in the walls. There are broken crates, overturned barrels. This area has also seen a lot of flooding recently, right? So things are all moved around and like caught in little bottlenecks. Okay, Amanita, how? Actually, no, you actually are one thing away. So you're actually past all this. You're small. So you're one obstacle ahead, actually. So, Isfet, you're going to have to deal with the cramped alleyway. Amanita, you are actually on the Harbor Street. Okay? So, as you turn out here, you see the waves kind of rising up and they hit the side and they kind of splash down into the street below. So, how do you navigate the street as waves are just kind of splashing over? And they will slow you down. Or even knock you over.
I am a kineticist.
Oh.
So, what it does is spend 2 actions as it watches the waves crash down, and it is going to use base kinesis. And as that falls over it, it uses the suppression ability, destroying an existing piece of that element, which is water, evaporating it instantly as it hits.
Ooh, that's awesome. Okay. What's your spellcasting modifier or ability? Is that occultism for you?
What a good question. I don't know.
Or nature?
I'm a cult.
You're occult.
Yeah.
Can I just?
You're what?
It's a DC 18, or am I? It says impulse attack.
What I'm gonna have you
I don't
do,
know.
yeah. So what I'm gonna have you do is roll like a spellcasting check. So your
Got it.
spellcasting skill, yeah, you're gonna roll that, and I've got the DC here for you. But I'm not gonna tell you.
Cool
I'm gonna let
beans.
you go ahead and
Okay.
roll it first.
It's a 13 on the dice plus 8 for a 21.
That is gonna be one success. You get one chase point.
The water evaporates as salt ding, 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 scatters to the ground. The water gone, but the salt remaining. And I think sort of like crusted and glittering, it remembers Maikine's confidence and allows itself to feel the same thing. And then remembers that it's supposed to run and keeps going.
That's fantastic. Okay. Then moving over to Isfet, you are now facing that cramped alleyway. You need to get past this before you can get to Amanita. How do you get by here?
Also, I want to throw out first roll. Good job, bud.
First roll of the game,
that was
yes.
First campaign, yeah.
It was above average.
Hey, that's what we're going for.
Listen, sometimes with me.
Hey, listen, you know how I roll. It's bad always. So I think
You have 2 hero
Isfet
points.
starts. It's true. I think Isfet starts running, sees all these obstacles, and there's just a visible like I have to put in effort here, and I can I like do acrobatics to get like
Sure.
over, because I think it's like full like fancy footwork of like he's running and it's like a dash to the side, like like there's a piece of wood and he like dashes so his foot like lands on it for a split second and his foot's already down and he's on to the next step, and it's like very like fancy footwork style trying to get around this stuff.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, absolutely. Acrobatics, go for it.
Okay. So acrobatics, that is a 20. Math is hard. 22.
22 is a success. So you get one chase point as you are jumping from kind of like plank to windowsill to an overturned cart, and very quickly, just before the objects can even like break under your weight, you're just kind of hopping and leaping, right between the two buildings. Yeah.
Like I think it gets out of the end of the like alleyway and it's like the classic like slides out to the side and it's like okay. It's
Oh,
like
you're not
heads
out
on
of the alleyway
swivel.
yet. You still
Okay.
you need a couple more chase points before you get out of that alleyway.
Gotcha. I thought it was one. That was one.
No, you're good. No. So you get one chase point. You do need 3 to get out of the alleyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
cool.
actually, Amanita, you are up. You're in the same boat. You have 1 chase point. You need 3 to get out of the harbor street.
All right. Am I facing a new obstacle?
No, it's the same again. So the waves, there's kind of like a break in the wave period, and then as it comes back up, there's another one that just washes over the top. How do you navigate this one?
How it navigates this one. I think having seen the salt that remained when it destroyed the water, it is it sort of brought to mind of the minerals that are needed for making things grow, and obviously too much salt is a bad thing. But a little can be good. So I think what it is going to do is open up the portal to the world of growing things, and there is this little circle as it continues dutifully running. This little circle that is almost like a window through the air, a window through space, a window into a place that is else. And that place is just lush, growing green, impossibly vibrant. The smell of ozone fills the air, and it's going to let that space catch the water that is pouring back down over it. If I don't roll trash.
Yeah, I mean, it's just running along, and the little rift just begins to kind of form just ahead and trailing behind. And as the water's kind of splashing in, just let's see what you get.
And that is a 12 plus, what was it again? 8? 8.
12 plus 8?
20.
20. All right, that's going to be another success. That's going to be 1 more point. You still need 1 more to get past this. This is a long harbor street, but you're doing very well.
And my legs are so little.
Yes. All right. Adam, Isfet is
Yeah.
up. If you get a critical success here, you would end up on the same obstacle as Amanita,
Gotcha.
and
So
you would catch him.
so I think Isfit is like, it's like the depth, like wall runs for a second, lands on the upturned cart, runs down it, jumps to the next thing, and like sees that there's just a shit ton more obstacles, and is just like, and like I would like to use 2 actions to cast Warp Step,
Sure.
which the earth beneath my feet, my steps essentially extend, and it I gain 5 feet to my speed, and then I stride twice instead of the once in that moment.
Okay.
So I think like he's running, and there's this moment where you see all of the ends, the tips of the quills across his face have this almost like deep, the easiest way to say is almost like negative version at the very tips that's purple and white, and it looks like white hot with this purple core. And in the split second you see as he spins the ring, one of the rings on his fingers, and his next step, it looks like the ground itself bends under, and there's like, it is like paper, where it is like all of a sudden he is at the next step, and he's like feet and feet, like he's way far forward. It's almost bending the ground under him to make him move quicker instead of him taking the more steps that he would need to get there.
I gotcha. All right. Go ahead and make a spell casting roll.
Spell casting. Okay.
Yeah, so occultism for you. So this is an occultism check.
Okay, gotcha.
That's really cool though.
That is a 15.
On the dice or total?
Total.
That is gonna just be a singular success. I really like the flavor. It was a fantastic move, but you make it towards the end, and I think just as you make it towards the end, another, like a wave, the same wave that Amanita just swallowed up, hits the pavement so hard that the front of the buildings begin to kind of crunch and crash forward, and they're just falling down ahead of you just as you were about to make it through. So
I definitely think like it's just like running and hears that and like looks up and is like shit, and just like it's this immediate like very dexterous move of like stopping on a dime and throwing himself into a wall to dodge something that's about to hit the ground next to him, and it like stops the momentum of the spell.
All right. Yeah, you just kind of pull the brakes. Your whole body, just like the inertia that it takes, that you as you kind of like break against the magic, right? It's kind of disconcerting initially, like, right? All right, Amanita. The end of the harbor street is in sight, but another wave rolls up.
Yet another wave.
You move on to the next obstacle here, or you fail and don't.
Understood. It is going to look up at this new wave, and there is no malice in nature. Nature simply is. So it looks up at this wave that is going to potentially stop it, and it says, I would prefer if you didn't. And I'm going to use Elemental Blast to turn that wave around, if I may.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Use it as an attack and thereby
Yeah, make an attack roll, a spell attack roll.
Magic. Yeah. That was such a journey. Can't read this die. 18 plus 8 for math.
18, 26. That's a good roll. Yeah, absolutely. You reach out, and as the wave is kind of crashing down, you're absolutely going to be able to do it. So how does it look as you do?
The wave is so big, and Amanita is so tiny, and its little frond stretches up, and it looks like this little plant thing is going to go absolutely tumbling ass over a tea kettle in a second. And then instead, the water hits the pavement and then stops, and then blasts in the opposite direction. It not flowing back as the natural give and take of a wave, but instead exploding outward.
Fantastic. Fantastic. There's
The
just a sea
same
and toddles
Yeah.
away. All right. Isfet, you are clear of the Harbor Street Amanita. You will make it onto the next obstacle. Isfet, let's see how you do.
I'm gonna go back to using my my acrobatics to get around these new obstacles that
Yeah.
have dropped in my path.
It's just dropping down around you. You just pull to the side, but it's just kind of like now falling.
Yeah, full anime moment here of like, okay, and I think it's Isfit. There's this pause in that moment where he stopped himself, and it's almost that like instance. And if the camera were to slow down as it panned past, his eyes are moving super fast, tracking all the items in the air. And there's a moment where it's like, got it. And then he like starts running again and has to figure out how to get around them. And hopefully I don't just get crushed in like 10
Let's see.
seconds.
Let's see.
Okay, so that is an 18.
18 was a success. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like, it's very much not the anime of like, I'm diving through falling objects. It's like, I just know where they are, and it's like, okay, sidestep now, and it like hits right next to him, and it's like, okay, and move behind like this overturned cart because it will hit the cart and it won't fall onto me, and like
Yeah.
ducks into like a little area and like is running around and then like does the slide out of the alley and is like, and looks, and Amanita's already gone, and he's like, fuck!
You look,
like,
you look down the
like-
Harbor Street and you see Amanita just blasting away a wave.
It's just like, oh, that's gonna be. Go chase me, Isfet. You can run faster.
All right. So, Amanita, you're up next. You are, as you, I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if Amanita would even notice Isfet like sliding out.
Nah.
But Amanita, that same wave that was breaking into the buildings and causing them to topple over, that's also happening where you're running down too. So these buildings are crumbling around you as they're falling down. Your next obstacle is to get past these buildings as they are.
Gonna make a. Amanita's never seen a building this big before.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna make like, can I make a quick intelligence check to see if it's like cognized what these are? Like, oh, these are mountains, or because,
Ooh.
or has Mikine like told? Because I don't know if Mikine has been like, so this is a city, and this is a building that isn't the cottage.
I don't think Mikine has. I don't think Mikine has. Do you have any ranks in crafting?
No.
Okay.
And I rolled a 4. And I have a -1 int. So I think it doesn't know
Yeah.
that these are buildings. So it's not going to, sadly, it's not going to feel like it should go save people because it thinks, this is an avalanche.
Yeah.
I think what it is going to do. This is an interesting one. So we are in the city of Red Hessel.
Mm-hmm.
Are all of the parts of the city still urban environments?
For now, yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay.
like right now you are like imagine kind of a long waterway, right? It's cobblestone streets beneath your feet, with the waves kind of coming in and crashing along the side. There is a wooden dock on the other side of the drop-off of the boardwalk that you're moving along, but it's mostly just splinters now, where the waves have been just kind of destroying it, and they're kind of splashing into the streets. Buildings on the other side of the road that are actively crumbling around you.
Okay. And it can't do that, which is okay. I think what it's going to do is carry that, like the remnants of that wave, the water, because like most of the water gets shot back right out from whence it came, but those remnants are floating around it as a second window opens. So Amanita now has 2 windows to 2 dual planes on either side of itself as it runs. And I think what it is going to do, seeing that, is try to catch the the falling debris
Mhm.
in this little portal to the plane of water, which is not like, as you look into it, it's not like this bright sunlit plane. It is dark, almost as dark as Mykine's eyes. It, wherever this plane is, it is deep in the depths of some ocean. This doorway does not touch light. But it is going to run with that almost as like a makeshift shield.
Okay. All right. Give us the check.
Would this be magic still?
Yeah, another magic check for you.
On magic. Bad.
Not bad.
3 plus 8 is 11.
3 plus 8 is 11. Okay. With an 11, unfortunately, yeah, that's gonna be a failure. You catch a lot of the building that's coming down around you, or that's coming directly for you. What you miss, unfortunately, is the bits of building that hit the floor, and the floor beneath you begins to kind of crumble and get very treacherous. So you lose your footing and you're slowed down. You're not taking like direct hits from building chunks, but you don't make much progress as the floor beneath you is breaking.
Oh. I do not know where to run when there is no ground.
And with that, we're going to just kind of like slide the camera down as the wave hits towards where Isfet has just emerged out of the alleyway, sees Amanita casting spells and managing the elements ways ahead of you. What do you do? How do you close that distance?
I think if you would allow me to do a double thing here, I think I use Needle Dart. As just a spell that I have to fire off
Great
needles.
spell.
And I think what he does is he runs next to a building, and you see out of his wrist these quills being formed, and they're bigger and coated in the metal off of his rings. And he starts like throwing them into buildings near him to give him like steps to run up. So I was gonna try to dex over the wave to try to like
as the wave is crashing.
He's just
yeah.
Energy goes crazy.
Oh yeah, he's like like trying to like land it before his foot hits. Like
oh
each
my
time.
Gosh! All right, Woo. Let's see the check. Does Needle Dart is Needle Dart a spell attack spell?
It's a spell attack. Yeah.
Okay, so you can either roll your spell attack, or if you wanted to make like another spell check, I would allow that too. If you think your
I'll just
occultism
do the
is
spell
better.
attack.
Okay, go for the spell attack.
Yeah. My spell attack's actually better.
Oh well, yeah. In that case, use that for sure.
Yeah. Sweet. That is what's my spell? 8. So math's hard, kids. Stay in school. 23.
23. 23 is a critical success. That'll get you 2 points. As you are, as they're coming down, you're able to,
So he's like running along the side, and you see, like, and I think, seeing Amanita like doing all this stuff with water, like it's just this like that's cheating, and as he's like throwing like these massive like bolts into walls and like using them as step stools, and I think when he gets to like alleyways, he throws one and jumps, catches it with his own hand, and then throws another one and like keeps running down them to be like, okay, one wave. Like it's just like clearly hates this amount of interaction with he's like, this sucks.
Of effort.
I hate this. I didn't want to put in effort today. I just wanted to stand in a fucking alleyway.
All right, you're closing the distance. You are 1 point away. Amanita, you are up. Building still crumbling around you. Isfet gaining. I don't know how much Isfet gaining matters to Amanita, but
it's this Adam is so good with making everything cinematic. I'm going to piggyback off of them. There we see Isfet doing all of this amazing like parkour and magic, and then the camera pans forward and Amanita is like standing while poor Isfet is behind them, like desperately like doing the most incredible shit, and it's just looking at a big pile of rocks in front of it. It was furious. do I handle this? Uh, expression completely oblivious to this poor man. um, it
That's
looks at the two elemental windows spinning on either side of it, the lush verdancy, and then the deep dark water. And this, it goes, It's deciding between the two as Isfet is getting closer and closer, and it finally pulls this little thread of dark water that becomes sparkling in whatever light sources are around here, because it is more than whatever was there.
Mhm.
And it's going to use tidal hands, creating these 15-foot cones in front of it that are just going to bludgeon the debris in front of it.
Ooh. All right. If it's a spell attack roll, you can take a spell attack or roll your spell.
That's what it is. That is a 15 plus stuff. Math. 8. 15 plus 8 is 23.
23 is a critical success. With a 23, you're going to get 2 points, and you're going to be able to move on to the next obstacle here. But paint us a picture as you blast away the building debris that's like just caving down around you.
I think the thing that makes this suck for Isfet a little bit is the fact that it blows this cone. This cone is 2 foot tall. And it just blasts the tunnel.
You have a tunnel. Yeah.
The debris, this like scree field, this like perfect cave solidifies as the water blasts through it, and then it just toddles through the little path it made.
Oh my gosh, incredible. All right, Amanita, with that, you stay alive in this chase. You make it to the fourth one now. Let me just see.
This is my third.
This is your third, yeah, because you started on the Harbor Street, yeah. So let me just take a quick peek at where we're at here. Okay, so Amanita. Well, actually, no, Isfet's next, sorry. I'm jumping around between my tabs here and confusing myself. Isfet, you see Amanita as the debris, the walls, and building fronts are crashing down upon it. It creates a cone of coal tunnel, and it just kind of, you see, just kind of disappear behind a spiral of debris and ice and salt water.
I think there's this unique moment where you'd think Isfet, who has been complaining this entire time, would complain, and he sees this, and there is this spark of mischief in his face, and it's like, oh, I get it now. Okay. And if possible, he keeps doing the same thing from last time, where he's throwing the spikes in and trying to get to the end of this, to get to the last obstacle they were at to be, or it was at, to be like, like.
Tell you what, because Amanita blasted it, right? I will say, if you get a critical success here, just because I kind of want to keep the story moving, if you guys go with it, right?
Yeah.
If you get a critical success here, then Amanita gets one more round. Because Amanita basically obliterated the crashing walls that are coming down. So that obstacle has technically been triggered, right? So we're just going to see if you get a critical success, then you get the 2 points needed to catch up. If you get a single success, then Amanita we'll keep in rounds. DC is going to be 15. So if you get a 25, that's a critical success, or a natural 20.
Come get me! Adam, come get me!
Alrighty then. And I'm gonna use my spellcasting again. So I got a 19 on the die, and that's plus 8, so
that is a 27.
27, yeah.
Yeah, that's your critical success. There you go.
And so I think you see as Isfet like sees this, finishes out, and jumps and grabs like a windowsill and then the alleyway that you would like cut down to get away, uses it as a way to swing around the edge and dodge that first little area that like you did like your like 2 portals through, gets to like so I'm still behind the debris that it just like went
Yeah, it
through,
just
right?
went through. Yeah, the tunnel is still like just
Yeah.
closing in around.
And so I think it's like Isfet like swings on this like around, dodges that first bit, lands back on the street and is running and sees it. It's like, no, what? Ooh, okay, well, that's damn it. Okay, damn it, and like you could tell he's now into the chase, and he's like, oh, wait a minute. So yeah.
All right.
I understand. I think because that was a critical
That was a
success.
critical
So
success.
Adam
You catch up to Amanita.
does catch. Does
Oh,
catch it.
okay.
You do
Then I
catch up.
think it's swings around this edge and is like using the edge of the wall as like a little thing because like it was like a pile of rubble
Yeah.
that like Amanita just went through. So I think it's like uses the momentum of that swing to land on the rubble, and I think it's like he stops and is like, sorry, not trying to attack you, just want to talk. You don't have to run anymore. You're good. You're good. You're good. And his
Oh.
hands are up, and you see he has no weaponry on him at all, and his hands are up, and he's like, I just want to talk for a moment, if possible.
It mimics you.
Oh, okay.
I am supposed to run.
Right. Why are you supposed to run?
Mikine says to run.
Gotcha. Well,
and
Mikey,
then to decide.
Oh, well, you're at the deciding point. It's perfect, right? I got you to the deciding point, so how about we stop running? Please. Please, I'm tired if I'm being honest with you.
My legs are also very small. I was not built to run.
You were built right. Yeah, built to run. Of course. Yeah, me neither. So what's your name? Darling, if you don't mind me asking.
Amanita, at your service. What is your name?
I'm known as Isfet. Wonderful to meet you. So, what are you supposed to decide now? Is there some big decision to be made, or is it?
I do not know. I was hoping you might know.
I do. Actually, no. That's of course I know. You'll decide if you want to come with me and help me out. That's what my bad. Mikey said it after you left, and I forgot to tell you about it. That was my fault. My bad.
Oh. You are in need of assistance?
All the time, of course. Yes. Especially someone as powerful as you, of course.
Oh, I am not powerful.
Oh, darling, you are very powerful, and I saw you quite literally blow a hole through an entire building rubble.
Yeah, there's a whole building that's just still crumbling down. It's
a
abandoned.
building?
Oh, yes. Do you not know what buildings are? Oh,
I know what a cottage is. And
right.
And a menagerie.
Right. Well, these are a cottage. If you put a lot of them together, made it really big and on top of each other. If that makes sense, of course. But
Is that why they fell down? There were too many?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Thank you for teaching me.
Of course, I'm happy to teach you as many things as you want. Again, the decision is yours if you'd like to assist me, of course. You don't have to. I can help you find Mikey. I don't know exactly where the group of people that I was with are going or particularly doing, but
Mikine says to decide and to find her. So I will help
there
you.
you go. Oh, perfect. So, what are you? What's your purpose with Mikey, if you don't mind me asking? Of course, I'm not trying to pry or anything. I just was wondering, of course.
I am a gardener and a healer.
Right, perfect. You are quite amazing, and I think Isfet is very like much crouched down, so he's on like the same level. It's not perfect because he is 6 foot, and like it still is. You're having to look up, but he's very low to the ground at this point. and is trying to like look you eye to eye to like get on your level.
And I think it's engendering trust is absolutely working here with Isfet. Amanita is, sort of like you know the difference between like a happy plant and a sad plant. A sad plant can get like a little wilty and a little like a wrinkly. They are a happy plant. They are like like bobbly, and their colors are vibrant, and their little sprout fit starts to boop, 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 pop up little like berries that mirror the details on Isfit's outfit.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that. Got to keep that in mind.
Are
Sorry.
you hungry?
Always. Honestly, always. Oh.
It picks a little berry off of its epaulet and using, what is this ability called? New character sheet, guys. Fresh produce. It hands you a berry.
I take the berry, and I think it's like this thing of Isfit just flicks it, and it goes directly in his mouth, like a very like
very adroit kind of.
Oh yeah, just like a very like eating grapes, very rich. Like, oh, I'm just gonna flick this in my mouth. Like, it's no effort.
Instead of applauding, the fronds are making the wind through the leaves sound as it applauds for you.
I got you. Hang on.
That's so. Amanita, I know that you're a gardener and a healer. Oh, perfect. I know that you're a gardener and a healer, but any other skills that you want to tell me about? I'd love to hear more about you, of course.
Oh. I could tell you a secret.
I would love to hear a secret. I'd love secrets, in fact.
It gets very close, and then you see it assessing your face. And I don't think any insight is required. I think it's trying to remember which hole humans hear out of, as it like looks at your nose and then your ear, sort of inspecting. And then it settles on the nose, and
Okay.
it kind of gets very close up to your face and whispers into your...
This one.
Oh. And it doesn't whisper into your nose because you catch it in time, but it whispers into your ear. I also tell stories to the seeds.
Oh, I love that. What type of stories do you tell?
Stories about becoming new things.
Like paper or something, or food?
Stories about growing and becoming plants, and then the plants become castles, and then the castles become the sky, and this sort of, I think there's a strange thing that happens where the like dreams of a child are being verbalized by this entity that is like not a child but also clearly like not a classical adult. Just very odd, as it is like whispering these mildly, not even unsettling, but just sort of like trippy, kind of like off dreams.
Isfit is very nodding. Like it's this practiced fake listen at a certain point where he is nodding along. Right. Oh, of course. Very much has zoned out at a certain point of the conversation, and I think it's this like subconscious thing of like, how can I use the storytelling is going on in his head at the same time as he's like, oh, okay, so they can become castles. Oh, great, I love that.
And
So
because Isfit is kind of like dissociated or just like not listening, I think they miss when Amanita asks, how may I help you, the first time.
Right, so you tell trees they're going to be paper. That's fun. I'm sorry, I got lost there. What were you saying?
How may I help you so that you may help me find Mikine?
You could help me in so many different ways. Oh boy, but I feel as if I should help you first. We should go find Mikine. you want to go back to that alleyway that we left? Because I bet you they're still there, if I'm being honest. 'Cause who knows?
Hmm.
Do you know any secrets about Mikey? I would love to hear some. If you have.
Maikine's eyes are full of stars like the sky. I think at this point you do not know if this is more dream talk or if this is real.
The face that I'm doing is exactly Isfet's face of like, any usable secrets that you know about Mikey other than Star Eyes? Just wondering.
Maikine's garden
Mhm.
is one of the best gardens.
I don't know how many gardens do you see on the regular, if I'm being honest? Just wondering.
Only hers, but she says it is good.
Gotcha. Well, we should make our way back to the alleyway to see if they're there, and if not, I know some locations they might be, so we should head that way, right?
Thank you, Isfet.
Of course, Amanita. Now let's go, darling, before it, well, I'm not gonna say it. And immediately, like, realizes that he was about to say, like, before they die, and is like, oh, well, we should go.
I'm not gonna say it. And Amanita will follow you. The two planes open, but sort of like bobbing on its shoulders, almost like an angel and a devil. The dark, lightless space, and then the lush, verdant green.
Is this just something that you do? I want to know for my future so I don't get scared by it, if I'm being honest.
Yes, this is what makes me a good gardener.
Right, it does. Absolutely, that's what that means. Gardening, gotta get good at gardening. Gotcha. Okay. And he, like, clearly is talking to himself. Oh, actually, darling, could you do me one big favor?
Yes.
Just tell me that you need my help. Just ask for my help. I know it's a weird request. Just say something along the lines of, Isfet, I need your help.
Something along the lines of Isfet, I need your help.
Perfect. And I think in that moment you see as it looks like this silver ink pours down his face and creates these like markings, and you see as he smiles for a second and just starts maniacally laughing in this alleyway, and he's like, oh god, I needed a pure soul to break that seal for so goddamn long, and you came along. Oh, Manita, you are glorious. Thank you so much for that. Oh yes. Whew, okay, that's one seal. Got it. Wonder what I can do now. Sorry, daydreaming again. We should go. Like,
You are a dreamer too. And I think, oddly, like the cackling. Amanita has kept the company of a witch all of its existence. That was totally normal.
Yeah, that checks out.
And then you see the marks fade away for a second. He goes, "All right, we really should go though, because reasons." And like immediately, like, is trying to be like, "I'm not gonna tell you that this is bad. Let's go." And like starts like kind of at a hustling pace, kind of starts going back towards the alleyway to see if they're still there.
Perfect. All right. As you guys make your way back towards the alleyway to go try to catch up with Lalantos and Maikine, Isfet, a seal just having been released, and Amanita believing that they found a solid guide. That right there is where we're going to take our break for today. All right, guys, we will be back for you in just about 10 minutes. So go stretch your legs, let your dogs out, get a drink of water, and we will see you in just a moment. Bye-bye.
I'm in danger.
Bye.
I'm in danger. Hey everybody, welcome back. We are here at Stealthy Elf Productions playing a little bit of Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you. This is the first year session of our new campaign, New World Rebellion, featuring the brilliant talents of Blue Button and Mr. Addip. We are coming back from break as the characters have just encountered each other, and they well, it seems that Isfet has manipulated Amanita into unlocking a seal. First off, Adam, hero point.
Thank you.
And the two are now making their way back to the tavern where Mikey Nay was confronting Lalantos. So, we're going to pick up at that tavern. All right.
Okay.
Guys, we're picking up at that tavern. Isfet.
Hmm?
It takes a little bit of navigating because, well, a considerable amount of the street has been destroyed. But you're able to, guide Amanita around the debris. Feeling quite elated with yourself, I imagine, as you make your way up the little stone staircase that gets you onto the landing of the porch. You walk in past the hanging beads, or what's left of them, and you make your way into the tap room. And it's it looks like it would have once been a fairly comfortable tap room. The floor is actually kind of dipped in. There's more of a saloon parlor kind of feel to it. There's a little small stage in the back. But where once there were, streaming fabric and cushions and maybe laughter and joy, it is empty. It has basically been stripped of anything. The floor is cracked and broken. The ceiling sags a little bit. This parlor has definitely seen better days, and it is now home not to the one-time employees, but now home to Lalantos's gang, as you see a few of those folks who had helped abduct Mikey, or who had helped confront Mikey. Three of them left here. They're passing around a bottle of something nondescript, taking swigs as you step in with Amanita in tow. One of them chuckles loudly. Successful then, eh?
What? No, yes. Yeah, absolutely. So where are they? Because I need to talk. It's going to take a little bit. Just let us through and everything will be fine.
Surprised it's still walking around. Figured you'd knock it out or something. You only have to bring it back alive.
It's just like they're clearly alive, so I did my job. Where are they? I'd like a conversation.
All right. Is some kind of rush?
Yes.
Where'd he go again? The two, one whispers to another, kind of leans in. Kind of a very small, thin individual with kind of thinning blonde hair whispers into the ear of a burly red-headed dwarf, who says, Tommy says he's taking her back to the mansion, but if the new guy came back, he's supposed to go to where'd he go again, Tommy? Oh, he's supposed to go to the tap house.
Okay, but I need to talk to Lalantos. It's a big thing. I need to have a conversation about this one. And it nods towards Amanita.
What's wrong with it?
It's hard to explain, but I think Lalantos will really like this. So if you could just let me go to the direction that he's gone in, that would be great. Well, please.
Look, If you want to see Lelantos, my advice is just do your job, man. Take the thing to the tap room. They'll handle it from there, and if you do a good job, then Lelantos will find you.
Is the tap room like at this location, or is it a different
Location.
Fine. Okay, great. That's great. Alrighty. We'll head over there now. And starts walking back out the door.
Okay. Amanita in tow.
Yeah, I think Amanita hears as Isfet is like under his breath. He's like, God, I would run this place so much better. I would be so much better. Just, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, Isfet. It's fine. Just keep walking, keep smiling, and do your job. Just do your job.
Is this what you need help with?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I do want to run this place a lot better than the asshole who does. Well, I want to run a lot more than this, but to start, this would be a great step. Do you know anything about taking over criminal underground organizations, or are you just asking?
If it is underground, and you wish to make it other than as it is, you must uproot what has been planted and plant new seeds.
That was oddly very insightful. Actually, very smart. Oh, I like you a lot.
I like you, Isfet.
And I think there's definitely a pat on the top of the
cap.
On the top of the cap. Yeah. And he's like, okay, well, it's like a very like pats you and sees you like do this like weird springing. He's like, okay, I might have broken. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
I am not hurt. I like
Oh, great.
that.
Oh, great. Love it. So, right. Could go to the tap house. Should go to the tap house. Could go to the mansion. Probably get killed at the mansion.
Why?
Oh, breaking orders and things like that will get you in trouble, and then the wrong people will find you. Well, but I do have... Sorry, doing the daydreaming thing again. Ha! So, Amanita, so there's two options here. We could go run after Lelantos, which would be fine. We would... I would live. But could cause some problems. But I think if we go to the tap house first, who knows, maybe we could figure out a different path, maybe get some resources put away for us. You like that? Good idea, right?
The same thinking face when Amanita was considering how to get around a literal roadblock. The angry men said that Lelantos has Mycene. And you would live.
I would.
And you want to take the cottages from Lelantos.
You are 100% correct. But that stays between me and you. You don't tell anybody else, including Mycene. This is between me and you. Don't tell anybody. Shit, I said that. Okay, don't tell anybody. Please don't tell anybody. I'm begging you, actually. Don't tell anybody that's my plan, because that could get me in a lot of trouble.
I am bound to Mycene's spirit, but I will not tell anyone else. And
great.
I will not yell your secrets.
Don't whisper them either, or speak them. Just keep it quiet.
I will keep quiet.
Perfect. You are... Well, you could speak now, but you... it's just... God, this is a lot complicated than I thought. So, anyway. we should go to the tap house, right? And then what I was thinking was we go to the tap house, see what they want, and then we could go to the house afterwards where Mikey Nay is, because I just think maybe we take the right steps, go in the right direction, right? Does that sound like a good plan, or?
I have not taken many steps. I will trust you. And then we will find Mikine.
Perfect, darling. And starts heading towards the tap house.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way over towards the tap house. This conversation and I think a lot of fun little interactions is Amanita's learning from Isfet. You make your way towards the tap house. It's like most of the buildings, rather dilapidated. But as you get closer, you start to see a few of the actual guards, the soldiery of Red Hessel. You start to see more of them present in the space, present on the street, as you're getting closer and closer to now like actual communities that have kind of condensed within the city itself. The guards stand outside of the tap house. Roll. Are you trained in society at all, Isfet?
I am not. No.
Okay. Then you don't know the significance of this building, but you do see that it is protected by guards. And as you approach, though, they seem to kind of like it's obvious as they kind of look to each other and then look to you. There's kind of an acknowledgement.
Thank you so much. Right.
Thank you.
And I haven't been in this building yet, right?
No, you've not been in this one.
I think Isfet. I think Amanita could pick up on this very quickly. Isfet's eyes are on a swivel, and I would like to cast Read the Air.
Read the
which,
air. What I do?
You take a deep breath as you survey a social situation.
Okay.
And essentially, like, I learn the behaviors of everybody around me to fit in more socially, and as part of it, I can recall knowledge using society to gain information about like the immediate social situation.
Sure.
And I also gain a +1 status bonus to diplomacy checks I make to make impressions on creatures.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, rank your spell.
Do I have to? Oh, so I roll recall knowledge, which is
Yeah, so that's just going to be society still.
society. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a natural 20, baby.
Ooh.
That's a
Yeah.
natural 20.
Okay.
+2.
Okay. That is a critical success. Okay. As you step in, first off, again, these are the city soldiery, right, that you pass. Okay. Now, you know Lelantos has been up to some shady shit. But now you're seeing the city soldiers, the actual guards, the cops guarding his warehouse, his tap house. You step inside. And as you step in, it's a rather large operation that this distillery once had. You can see giant vats kind of in the center of the room, but the room, like, the warehouse kind of dips down as well. So it's more like, imagine like a giant indoor swimming pool, right?
Okay.
The vats are all inside of the swimming pool, and there's kind of a catwalk that kind of moves around and loops around all of it. But you see people are hard at work. Some of them are filling vats. Some of them are siphoning them. You see carts being pushed around. You see them full of bagged goods. You also see that this not only seems to be where a lot of like water and stuff is processed, but maybe even food stuff.
Gotcha. I think Amanita again would physically see Isfet change his demeanor, and it is very much to like the same vein is like he's code switching into this society, and he very much immediately is taking a more proper stance, and you see as he is trying to fit into the idea of being high society and dealing with the police essentially, and being like,
Mhm.
yes, hello, right, so my name's Isfet, work for you know who. I was told to meet you know who here. I didn't want to say names, of course. Are they around?
They look passes between the two, passes from you. They look at Amanita and goes, this a delivery? He doesn't oversee
No,
deliveries.
no. Right. Earlier tonight, I was told to bring this one after finding them. And he goes, our friend. And they said to meet them here. Are they not here?
He may be coming by later. I don't keep his schedule. Look, why don't you head on in? Take it with you. Take it
Gotcha.
downstairs. I bet someone's expecting it.
Oh, is there something downstairs? Sorry, newer, higher up, hired because somebody else. Anyway, right. Thank you. Perfect. I'll head down and
Sure.
I kind of usher Amanita to follow me.
Amanita's
Amanita follows, and it's like underground, and seems to approve of this, knowing Isfit's goals.
Amanita, as you are being pushed, as you're being escorted through the space, let's go ahead and get a couple of checks here. First, I'm going to continue with Isfit's natural 20 because you get a sense of the room, right? You get a sense of the dynamics in the room, the social dynamics in the room, specifically who seems to be taking what rank around here. You see that a lot of the guards are a lot of the city watch that have been assigned to this place. They are in pretty good spots, around the building, checking entrances and that kind of stuff. Most of the labor, a significant portion of it, seems to actually be done and handled by orcs. The city, as you know, has now been playing home to the one-time prisoners of Tempest Isle. You know that a significant number of those prisoners were of Orcish heritage, and they have now been brought into the city at the behest and service of Caleb de Posto, the sovereign-elect, the leader of Red Hessel, or what's left of it. And you see a lot of these orcs are hard at work. They do the brunt of cart pushing. They do the brunt of lifting things to be filled into the vat. You see them kind of going downstairs, or a lot of them making kind of a cycle, coming up from downstairs, and then the others kind of making their way back downstairs. So,
Question really quick.
Yeah.
Because I forget this in 2E. For languages, how many languages do you know from the start? Isn't it based off of your...
based off your intelligence. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a +2 to int, so 2 languages, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
I just wanted to keep that up here for a
Yeah,
second.
for sure. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, so are they just working independently, or are there there's people watching them, right?
There's people watching them. Yeah, you can tell that there's guards kind of keeping a fairly close eye on them. There's a little bit of strife or tension between the guards and the orcs.
Gotcha.
But these orcs appear diligent. They appear very particularly hardworking. At this point, let's get perception checks for both of you.
This is accurate. Actually, no. I'm gonna use hero point.
Good. 23.
Okay.
Good for me.
That's pretty good.
10.
Okay. Isfit, you don't
It's fine.
notice anything in particular. In addition, that's a fairly average roll that you just had, my friend. Amanita. Now, this won't make much difference to you at all. But one of the things that you notice is that a lot of these orcs, as you're moving by, you can kind of see a symbol a symbol tattooed to a lot of them. It looks something like the top half of a skull, except there is something of a crown shape that emerges above the eyes. And you can see that this symbol is tattooed on shoulders, backs of necks, calves. A lot of them seem to bear this symbol. But I don't know if that would necessarily be remarkable to Amanita at all. But you do note it.
Amanita notes it, and I think what becomes clear to it is that seems distinct from the sigilry on the guards.
Mm-hmm.
2 families here.
What was that?
There are 2 families here. The Skull Crown and the Blades.
At Skull Crown, Isfet, who has very much been keeping this character since you've walked in the door, breaks, whips around, and leans down to you. It is split-second speed of like, what did you just say about a Skull Crown?
On the one family, working very hard.
Do I see the?
Yeah, this is pointed out to you. Yep.
Isfet smiles, pats you on the head again, and just goes, "Yes, 2 families. 2 families indeed." And I think so. We have to continue through this room to get downstairs.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're like crossing through the warehouse, making your way to a double door that continues downwards.
Can I intentionally this is gonna sound so weird to say. Can I intentionally make it look unintentional that like an orc bumps into me? Like use a deception check to make it look like I was just walking and I'm like, oh, what the?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of get what you're going for. Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a weird way. Like that's the only way I could think to phrase it is like intentionally make it look unintentional.
Yeah. Deception check. Go for it.
Bet. That is a 21.
21 is fairly convincing. You're walking along with Amanita, and then there is an orc who's got a barrel kind of hoisted up on the shoulder, is in the middle of kind of like backing up with it as the weight kind of settles onto the shoulder, and you time your step perfectly. Your strides intersect, and you hit shoulder to chest.
And I stop and in Orcish say to them, watch it, and I look at all the guards to see if any of them are recognizing the language that I'm speaking.
You look around, and none of the guards, like, there's a little bit of they start to look just to make sure it's not going to evolve into anything, but for the most part they don't really give they don't react right away. They're kind of like keeping an eye, like, let's see how this plays out, assuming it all sorts itself out, we're not going to get involved, but no reason to jump right to getting involved just yet. They seem kind of hanging back.
And I think in Orcish, it's Isfet just goes, nice horned crown, and winks.
New York kind of looks to the horn crowned symbol marked on its bicep. It looks up to you and kind of cocks an eyebrow.
And he slowly nods for a second. Revolution in 10. And just walks past like nothing, like there is no problem. Just, oh, well, you're good now. I told him off in Orcish to let the guards.
The orc kind of looks at you quizzically as you walk away. Yeah. Kind of takes the barrel, sets it down, and starts looking over at some of the other orcs, trying to get their attention. But yeah, you continue your path. Okay. You guys make your way down the passageway. Eventually, you run into another guard who looks you up and down, sees Amanita, and says, another delivery then. Right this way.
Well, sorry. Is, do we call him friend, benefactor? I don't know what we do in this state. Do we? Friend, benefactor, whatever. Are they here? Because I keep on trying to get, I was told that I was supposed to meet them here, bring this person because they needed to see this delivery before it was fully delivered. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what to tell you, mate. I I don't keep to the boss's schedule. I was told to guard here, but
No, I appreciate it. Your work is well appreciated. Right, we'll go in. Sorry.
okay. And continues to lead you down. You guys make your way down quite a switchback of stone stairs, and then you find yourselves in kind of a long stone tunnel. As you enter into this point, though, it's more of like a sewer tunnel. You can see that there is a walkway on one side, then there's, where the water streams through, and then there's a walkway on the other side. And you are led down this sewer tunnel for quite a ways. The stench starts to hit you, it starts to become quite rather unpleasant.
God.
But no one's been tending to the infrastructure of the city given recent events. Well, at least not throughout most of the city. You continue your way into a sort of like central nexus. At this point, you see makeshift wooden docks attached to the outer edges of the room, so that they can kind of, meet closer into the central chamber. And you see a number of orcs and a few other folks seem to be carrying these giant barrels over towards the central cistern and pouring these barrels into the cistern. And as the materials being poured in, it is a rather dark liquid that has a slight greenish glow to it that seems to be decanted from these barrels into this central chamber.
What are they doing?
I was actually going to ask you the same thing.
This guard continues to lead you, not really realizing that the two of you have started kind of discussing about what could be going on. It leads you down like a kind of a catwalk around the back edge of the room. And you guys now find yourselves kind of in the central area as you kind of cross a few little makeshift bridges. You walk on some pipes, but you find yourselves now like solidly in the central area where, again, these orcs are moving barrels from some of these side rooms, going towards the center and pouring it in. You're left, the guard turns to you and says, wait here, let's see if maybe Huna knows where the boss is at.
Right, sure, absolutely.
Disappears behind a door for just a moment. Two of you are alone.
Right, so what we need to do is in about 7 minutes ago, right? 7 minutes would be about the timing of that. So about 7 minutes, me and you are going to break out of here very dramatically. Deal?
Deal.
Great. And then we're going to go find Igene.
Thank you, Isfet.
But you just got to play the part. And I'm going to tell you what to do and just do it, okay? Great.
The air here is very bad. Like
It
stinky
smells
for people.
awful. Genuinely, my nose hurts at how long I've been down here. Also, I'm going to bring a big friend in, and I don't want you to be afraid of him, but he is going to kind of look like that tattoo-ish to a degree. It's hard to explain. You'll see him and you'll get it.
Are they your family?
That's a great way to put it. You could say that. It's a great... Oh, you are beautiful. And stands up and acts normal again, like waiting for the door to open.
And just about the time that you do, the door does. And from it emerges a rather young orc, but still an orc. So very strapping individual. dressed in sort of makeshift rags. Despite having moved to the city, a lot of the Tempest Isle orcs have opted to kind of keep their traditional clothing. And you can see orc steps forward, and just kind of peeking out over the shoulder, you see the symbol. Crosses over towards you, Amanita, and goes, "So, this is the one that belongs to the witch."
Yes, this is the one that belongs to the witch. Hi, Isfet, and he like puts his hand out to them.
Looks at the hand and doesn't react for it. "Your job's done. You can go. We'll take it from here."
And they had the tattoo sticking out?
Yeah, tattoo sticking out.
Is the other guard still here?
Yeah, the other guard's kind of just like hanging in the back, just waiting to be discharged or waiting to be relieved to go back to his post.
Well, I thought that we could have a conversation. Just a quick one, if you don't mind, of course.
Fine. Follow me. And reaches down to take your hand, Amanita.
Takes
And
it.
The large orc is walking away is leading you now by the hand, Amanita, to another room. Isfet, you follow?
Yeah.
Okay. The three of you, the guard leaves at this point. Three of you.
When the guard leaves, in Orcish, I say, "Revolutions in 5 horn-crowned orders."
Stops, looks back at you, and kind of arches an eyebrow. "You give orders for Horncrown?"
Well, friend of mine. He'll be here soon, though. Don't worry.
Looks at you and says, "I don't know who you are, and I haven't heard those orders."
Just a little faith would be helpful in this moment. Trust me, I'm disgusted by the way that you are treated here, and I don't appreciate it, so I've decided that, well, something needs to be done. So, Amanita and I are going to fix it. And Ugo will be pretty happy. Trust me.
Looks at you and kind of squares up and says, "Careful with the name. It doesn't matter how we are treated. If the holder of the ring says that this is what our duty is, then that's what we do."
Are you saying Lalanto has the ring?
He looks at you and goes, "You say you're a subject of the Horned King?" Kind of squares up. You can tell a little bit of suspicion kind of coming in as you say, as it's clear that you didn't realize that Lalantos.
I think Amanita can see Isfet is angry in this moment. There is a wave of just like unbridled anger that he can't hide. Well, you could say we're a little closer than that.
Amanita, the hand starts to like hold your hand real tight. Like the grip starts to squeeze.
In fact, I've decided 5 minutes is too long to wait. Amanita, I need you to ask me for help again, if you wouldn't mind.
Please help me again if you wouldn't mind.
Great. And the silver pours down in his face. And I think this time behind him in this, because we're like in a tunnel, right?
You're in more like an it's more of like an open central area. Here, actually, let's do this.
A map.
Why don't we do a map?
A map?
Let's see, that loads up. Okay.
David map.
No, this
David
is
map.
not a David map. This is a
Not a
Che and
David
Peku.
map at all.
This is Che and
Okay.
Peku. Okay,
Jay and Paku, not David's map.
let's go right over here. I'm gonna move this guy over here. Okay, you guys. Oh, I get the
We're on the
feeling
map,
we're
yeah.
gonna want some action music here. Give me a sec.
Oh, okay. You didn't move us over yet, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm just
I moved the
making sure
stream
that I
over,
don't need to
not you
refresh
guys.
again.
No, it's you guys. Players are not the stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, shit. Okay.
So
Yeah.
go ahead and
Love
place
the glow.
yourselves over here.
Can you ping
Oh.
again? I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
it's kind of top central,
Gotcha.
right there.
Thereabouts?
Thereabouts is perfect. Thereabouts is perfect. So yeah, Isfet, you guys, Amanita, you're being I say this guy's probably between the two of you, as Amanita, this orc Huna is gripping your hand real tightly, as you call out to help for Isfet. Isfet, you are on the other side. Shit goes down.
Yeah, so you see the silver pour in and create the same thing, and Isfit's eyes like roll back for a second, and you see his arms go back, and he just goes, "He's back!" And literally, it looks like a seam in space is being torn open as these clawed hands reach and just rip the fabric of space next to him, and steps out is this massive being who looks similar to an orc, I think is the easiest way to say it, but their head is wreathed in horns that form this crown that sits on their head like a bastardized crown, and I think it's very obvious that like these weren't grown, these were grafted, and these horns form this crown, and there is a larger skull that covers most of the face up until right above the lips that sits, and it almost looks like a helmet with this crown, but you can see that there is flesh interlaced inside of this is fused to this person's head. It is a pure monstrosity of grafting and horror that steps out next to him, and you see Isfet look up and smile and just goes, "Oh, it has been too long. Oh, Ugo, great to see you again. Isfet." And Ugo turns, and in this ghostly deep voice you hear, "Isfet." And he smiles with these sharp teeth almost mirroring Isfet's face.
Oh, we need initiative. We need initiative.
Boom.
Let's see here.
Trying to see if there's anything that makes more sense besides perception. No. No.
I made a real evilly dude.
You made a real evilly dude. Okay.
He's neat. They're neat.
Okay, one sec here. I'm just putting in the bad guys' initiatives real quick. Okay. Oh, I put an apostrophe in here for whatever reason. Beep.
As always.
As always, as you should, right? Damn it. Well done, Button. First off, Button, hero point for catching the apostrophe, for catching me on the apostrophe and calling me out. And Adam, one for that description of Ugo coming out. Fuck yeah,
what
man.
the fuck?
Ugo is a monster.
Does Ugo share your initiative or roll separate?
Let me double. I believe he shares my initiative.
I think it does. I think that's how Lycus does
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes.
The last
share
summoner I
initiative
played with, it did.
Okay.
because we can do things because we we have one set of actions. Like that's
Mm.
the thing with summoners, is you have one set of actions split between the two of you, but you
Yeah.
have moves that allow you to get more actions
Yeah.
in turns and stuff.
Combos.
Combos. Okay. Isfet, what'd you get for initiative?
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Kind of 20 that you need to polish off. Okay, Amanita, what'd you get?
Jesus.
11.
11.
11.
The kind of 11 that you got.
The kind of 11
Kind
that,
of 11 that
you
I
got.
got.
Okay. Isfet, you are up first, my friend.
And I think Isfet goes.
My scary,
just-
scary friend.
I think for the turn, honestly, Isfet looks at this orc and goes, "Told you I wasn't lying. So let go of my friend, and we will be fine. Please." And you see as Ugo leans forward and just goes, "Please." And it's just this weird mirroring of like two people.
Okay. How would you like to approach that? It could be diplomacy or it could be intimidation.
I think diplomacy. I'm going to approach that with diplomacy.
Diplomacy. All right. Go ahead and roll a diplomacy check. This would be one action.
That is a natural 20. I'm not joking.
Okay, that's real good. That's
This
real
is
good.
This is a campaign to roll good finally.
Yes,
That's real good.
hooray! They deserve it. I played with you for 2 years. I feel
Really
like you
did.
got maybe 3 nat 20s.
In the entire campaign.
Okay. I'll give you the response on that guy's turn.
Okay, cool. But yeah, that's honestly like that's it for his turn. That's all he wanted to do, is be like, I proved I wasn't lying to you, so let's be friends now.
Okay. All right, we'll call your summoning and that kind of like your round there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next up is going to be someone off screen.
They don't
But
have
then it is
Love that for us.
love that for
They
you.
don't have to go.
Then it's going to be the orc's turn. Now the orc hasn't necessarily called to arms or anything, right? Was just kind of squaring off with you, Isfet. As you lock eyes, lean forward, summon Ugo, and tell the orc to stand down. The grip on Amanita's wrist kind of tightens for just a moment, Amanita. It almost becomes painful, but then lets go as the orc's eyes travel to Ugo. The grip releases. The hand that was holding your wrist moves to the chest and is pressed against the chest over the symbol. And the orc kneels. And the voice speaks, "Your Majesty, what do you demand?"
Can I respond as Ugo?
Yeah.
I think in sync, Isfet and Ugo say revolution. And it's just this like Isfet's is very calm, whereas you see Ugo gripping his fist tighter and just goes, revolution. And it's this weird, airy, almost reverberating sound that ties in with Isfet's very calm demeanor. And it almost creates this eerie mid-tone of like, oh God, like, is this destruction or is this like just getting out of here? Like,
The orc stands back up and pulls out a spear that was kind of, crisscrossed over the back with some javelins, pulls out the long spear, holds it high, and calls out in orcish, "Revolution!" And the cry just kind of echoes throughout the sewer, and you start to hear responding cries. You start to hear as the one orc then is gonna, so one action will be to, because we're still gonna kind of stay in initiative order for just a moment here. One action is going to be to kneel. Second action to draw a weapon and scream for a free action. And then the third action is going to be to pitch this spear across towards this humanoid guard that is dressed in the armor of Red Hessel. And that is a natural 20 for Huna the orc.
God!
Yes!
As Huna is going to throw a spear across the room and stabs into Lelantos's guard. Just the spear rips through the chest, and the guard falls to the floor just in like the last little bits, hanging, just dumbfounded in those last moments of his life. Yeah, that's gonna be that one's turn. Then the other orc is gonna go, and also the other orcs are also gonna start to gather up. I can keep us in initiative here, guys, but I think let's focus in on the two of you.
Okay.
Okay, so the orcs are going to, with their rounds, draw weapons and start running around killing Lelantos's guards.
Okay.
Revolution, y'all.
Revolution is live. The revolution is live. These orcs, Amanita.
Mhm.
I don't know if your character if you think Amanita would know what it would be like for someone to have like a religious moment, like to almost realize like the prophet is real. The entity that we believe to be our leader has just returned.
I think witchcraft is in part recognizing those powers in nature that are not necessarily immediately visible. And in the process of thanking those things for existing, a part of witchcraft is, allowing for powers to use you as a conduit and vice versa. So I think Amanita has this sense from those who have visited Maikine's cottage and who have shown awe at, maybe communing with a spirit of the dead, I think is the closest thing that Amanita has seen. So I think, especially because Amanita identifies these orcs with this symbol as a family, this summon Amanita looks up at and says, "You are their father."
And I think there's Ugo hears that, looks at Isfet with a head tilt, and just goes, and Isfet just goes, "Go with it. Just go with it. It's fine. Just go with it." And Ugo turns back to you and just nods at you when you say that.
Thank you, Spirit, for guiding your children. And I think we're on Amanita's turn, correct?
Yeah, you take 3 actions, like a whole round. Go for it.
I think this entire round is spent using all 3 abilities because it is one ability, or one... I can do it 3 times. I can't word good, you guys.
You're good.
Amanita is going to use fresh produce and hand these out to everyone. And essentially, if you eat this little fruit that it gives you, you heal 1d4 plus 1 HP. It's just this little healing plant that, like, you can, at first, you see Amanita picking off plant life from its little sprout fit, and it looks dumb as hell. But then, much like earlier today, you see that same symbol boop, 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 appear on its chest as it sort of mimics the orc who has the symbol of the horned skull. And so it's got this little flowery horned skull on its chest as well.
The orc kneels down, takes the fruit in his hand, holds it, and a look of guilt kind of comes over the face, and eats the fruit and says to you, Amanita, your kind deserve better. We will make a world where it is better. Looks to you, Isfet, for confirmation.
And he nods again.
Better what?
Huna turns and calls for the two of you to follow. We're like kind of jump out of initiative for just a moment here, as the two of you, maybe three of you with Ugo, are led around and towards a room that Huna was leading to you. Kicks the door open and kind of breaks open with a crash. And inside the room, you see a rather kind of sleazy looking humanoid whose skin is kind of like a gray pallor, emaciated, and you can see that there's sort of like there's a sort of fervor in the eyes, as in their hands they hold a vial that is alight with a green light, and at their feet is a dead Leshy. There is a wound in the center body of the Leshy that is burnt edges and crackling around its flesh. And you can see, as you all step in, there is that same green light in the hands that's now in the orb. There's that same green light that is fading from the eyes of the Leshy. As the man looks up, what is the meaning of this?
Well,
What have you done?
Looks around. Why is it still awake? Do I have to do everything around here myself?
Oh, you don't understand anything. That's great. What's your name, friend?
Who the fuck are you?
Well. And I think there's a pause, and at that point, he steps a step back, and Ugo just steps in front of him and starts walking into the room.
Whoa.
And like just walking towards him.
And he starts to kind of back up, backing away from Ugo as the summon is now kind of like, I think the room kind of bends around Ugo a little bit as this guy's like now backing up. The shadows get a little bit deeper, and he bumps in to a vat behind him. You can almost just see it there on the map. Behind him there, you can see that there is like lots of that kind of greenish light that is kind of like settled at the bottom in this sort of liquid that is connected to these machines, these pipes, these gaskets, that at the bottom of which all kind of like fill kegs of this material.
Well, my friend here, well, he gets angry from time to time, but I can stop him from being angry. But you have to play nice. So, I'll ask again, what's your name?
Kind of looks down at you, looks over to all of you. Do you have any idea who you're fucking with? Do you have any idea the kind of hell that's gonna come down around you for this?
Well, hell is where I like to call home. So, answer my fucking question. What is your name?
Oh. Actually, intimidation check. What am I doing giving you this for free? Yeah. Hang on.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
my
is there like a
character.
+2s or bonus or something for that line? Hell is where I call home.
I'm tracking. I'm tracking.
As fuck?
I'm tracking it. Oh, you got me sucked in there.
Jesus.
That is going to be an 18 for intimidation.
18 for intimidation. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Kind of stands, leans back, and goes, the name's Vigo.
Vigo.
What?
Ouch. That's what I thought too.
Sorry.
Vigo, well, Vigo, my good person, my friend here asked you a question. What did you do? Answer it now.
Looks at the Leshy and says, "We're harvesting vitae. We get it from the Leshies."
Right. And for the uninitiated, what exactly is vitae?
Well, it's the stuff that, makes them move.
Gotcha.
It's not like they've got like souls or anything, so they've got vitae instead.
Oh, darling, that's where you're wrong. They do have souls, or, well, my friend couldn't be here. So, I think, and he turns to Amanita, should I be nice or should I be a little mean?
You look down and ask this question that I think is just as much intimidation for Vigo as anything else, but you look down and you see not. It's more like morning dew at the corners of its eyes as it's looking up at you. It's already just enormous eyes, even wider, and where those single motes of starlight in either eye had appeared, more stars begin to appear in constellation. And you see them just looking up at you awestruck, and it asks, "I have a soul."
Of course, darling. Why would you not? Is that not on the... Oh. Oh, you didn't know. That explains quite a lot. Well, we'll get to that later. Anyway, should I be nice to this person or mean? Because they did hurt one of your kind, and I don't think that's very nice. Now, is it?
It is not nice.
Ah, so I should treat them in kind, correct?
Treat them in kind. And I think you can see Amanita's mulling over the words, but I think that that can also serve as an answer.
Great drop. And he looks at Ugo and just kind of smiles and goes, well, you heard it.
Wait.
And
Wait. I told you what you wanted to hear. Come on.
you did. Thanks. Crazy last words, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna have Ugo just start beating the dog shit out of this person.
Easy enough. I don't need any rolls here.
Can
Ugo,
I describe what I want?
Yeah,
Ugo,
go for it.
I think there's this thing of like, Ugo turns on the like, but I told you, and it's like, oh, crazy last words, and he just grabs the back of this person's neck and slams their face into the vat until like he can slam through the vat and then put their face in the vat of this liquid to just like burn in or whatever it does caustically to them.
Yeah. Ugo grabs the guy at the back of the head, hoists him into the air, slams him repeatedly against the side of the vat until a section of it breaks open, and then just dunks the head in. You can see the individual, the hands and legs kick wildly against your summon, to no avail. Again, this individual was not seeming to be a very healthy, and is no way able to resist the power of your summon. You can see the skin, the pallor that was already very pale, just kind of goes into like a ashen gray, as for a moment the eyes light up with like a flashing green. You can kind of see it kind of glowing within, the kind of the thin parts of your body, like where your hands, you can pass light through it kind of thing. You can kind of see there's a bit of a green glow as the hands kind of beat against the vat, but after some struggles, goes down. I would say, Drew, while this is happening, Huna pulls you out and says, "That's just one part of their operation here. There's more."
Great. Dismantle it completely as much as possible, and then I want you to take all the orcs and run. Let every orc you know that the haunt ground lives.
Huna calls out, and with this call, there's a sort of. What's that? Huna turns and starts making a call that kind of echoes around the room, and shortly after that, a number of orcs kind of begin to file into the room, into the space, and as you kind of look around, you can see them all, weapons drawn, nodding at you. There's kind of a fixed focus on you, Isfet, as they are hanging on every word. Huna turns and begins to make his way towards the rest of the chamber to dismantle everything as you commanded.
Perfect. Okay, now, darling, we should get out of here fast, because this is not going to be good when things go off. Seriously, it's going to be horrible.
You say this. You say, we gotta go. And you turn to see Amanita on the ground next to this dead Leshy. And you see that green verdant portal, that window into another world, grow wider as it is murmuring a little rite over this fallen Leshy. You know, Amanita has seen decay. It's a part of gardening, it's a part of life, it's a part of death. But the hole in its chest is something that Amanita has never witnessed before. And so it picks up the body of the fallen Leshy, kisses its forehead. There is something green, but not like this space, green like life, not green like power, as it kisses the forehead. And then it's going to set the fallen Leshy into the elemental plane of plant life. We may go.
Right. Sorry about your kin of some degree. If there's anything I could do, I would, but I don't have those skills.
Thank you, Isfet.
Of course, you are a wonderfully powerful being, and I can respect that. So, we really need to go, though, because they're about to do some really bad shit, probably somewhere close to here. I don't want to get caught in the crossfire. All right, big guy. And he looks up at Ugo, and I think Ugo, like, lets go of the body and just starts walking walking towards them as they're like starting to run out, and it's the three of them instead of the two that entered.
The three of you get to the entrance of the room when you start to hear the world, the earth quake.
Fuck.
Uh-oh.
Oh god, I didn't know it was gonna be that bad. Oh
Totally
god, what are they
forgot.
doing downstairs? Doesn't realize it's a
Are there cottages falling?
The poisoner's den beneath Red Hessel that you guys are currently in.
Yeah.
The instrument, it begins to quake harder and harder. The instruments begin to rattle against the wall. You can see furniture just kind of shifting, cracks appearing in the ceiling and the walls, and soon water begins to trickle through those cracks. You guys watch as those cracks become fissures, as water begins to jet through from the other side, spraying out into the room. Just my guys, this is going to be a skill challenge. Okay,
Solid.
so you guys are in the sewer. Oh, you know what we can do? I don't think we're really going to use it, but I just want to show off something really cool, which is we actually have a flooded version of the map.
Oh, that's so cool. Yo, that's sick.
Oh my god!
Like I said,
Yo.
we're not really going to use it. I've got these skill challenges written down for you, okay? So
Yeah, for sure.
you guys are in this in this central chamber of the sewer as water is spewing through the walls. Your first challenge is going to be to get past these jets of water as they are erupting on your path as you're kind of like making your way along the railing, and the room begins to flood. How do you guys get past? You can both use your own skill here to see how you navigate this area.
How far is the door out?
We'll say few hundred feet, couple hundred feet, like from where you guys are at. But like, cause like you guys have to kind of move across towards like a place where you can like jump onto one of the walkways that kind of moves around the side of the room.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's a little bit awkward. And as they're jutting out, I mean, a few hundred feet, long enough that it's going to need to be skill checks.
Mhm.
What are you thinking though?
Personally, I was thinking of scooping up Amanita and warp stepping as fast
Oh,
as
yeah,
I
sure.
can to get it.
Okay.
So I think like you see as Isfet just goes shit, like thinking that this is what the orcs were doing and not realizing something bigger. He's like, God, I didn't know it was this deep. Okay, okay, gotcha, okay. And he looks, and I think in like this quick movement, you see a massive like clawed hand scoop up Amanita,
Ooh.
and it's Ugo, and you see as both Ugo and Isfet like almost strike identical poses because both of them have warp step, and they both
shit.
in tandem. I use my act together to in tandem cast from both of them warp step, and they both go like jetting forward to run through this as fast as possible before it
Hell
floods
yeah.
them out.
Hell yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll a spell check. So occult.
Do you want to roll two?
Just the
One
one.
for me, one for.
No,
Okay.
no. And then Amanita, what are you doing to get us out
I'm
of
gonna
here?
use a hero point.
Okay.
Oh no. Amanita is going to use their base kinesis to suppress, and I think the way it manifests is Amanita creates this dome of water around them that as the water that is spraying hits, evaporates.
Okay. Go ahead, roll a
We
spell
got a
check for you as well. 19. Success.
Okay. Natural 20!
Hey!
Oh.
Okay, so what happens is it's as Isfet describes, scooped up, and the warp step happens, and you guys are kind of like shot across the room, making your way towards the central exit. Just as right where you land, the wall breaks and water just crashes out, and it looks like you're not going to make it. And then Amanita just kind of expands outwards. And the water creates a sphere as it kind of just crashes around all three of you. All right. You guys,
Amanita,
Amanita
say how
is-
much I love you.
it's shocked.
It's incredibly shocked as it's like just doing its job. Isfet has told it has a soul and that he loves it. Amanita flushes bright pink. I love you too.
Aww. Okay, so you guys make it through your first challenge here. Your second challenge, as you teleport in and block the water, ahead of you is the same walkway that you came down, the same tunnel. The problem is that towards the back of that tunnel, you hear the sound of walls breaking. You hear the sound of a cave-in. You see your echoing crash just kind of making its way down. You guys, you can try to run forward and try to get in before the cave crashes, before the cave-in hits, or however you want to do it. Or you can try to find an alternate route.
Amanita, I think, is going to make this choice easier. They're going to use the... Oh, I just clicked away from it because I'm really smart. It's going to use the move function of base kinesis. So I can move an existing piece of the element up to 20 feet in any direction.
Okay.
So I think that crumbling piece it's gone from making this bubble to putting its little fronds together and like moving, like not exploding, but like shifting this wall, clearing their path.
Yeah.
As they're still, I feel like they're like a football.
Yeah,
Dude,
in Ugo's arms.
I was fully about to say, like, just like a linebacker, I feel like literally what's going to be the next words out of my mouth. Just like a linebacker, I think like tucked under the arm, and you see like the horned shoulder of Ugo running forward in case anything, and they're gonna use warp step again because I feel like that's my role, is to just run us out.
Sure.
I think as the two of them start running this time, they shout in Orcish to escape, to run, to be free. And it's just like these repeated things that as they are like in sprint, that they're screaming out to everybody just to be like, save yourselves. This is fucked. Like,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Spell check for both of you, because warp step and Amanita's kinetic base.
I'm gonna use a hero point because that was a nat 1. That's just unacceptable.
Nope, not for this moment.
Hey, listen. Hey, I know you just gave me a nat 20 and that's unusual, but the one immediately following is
25?
25.
25.
Okay.
I'm getting this the fuck out.
Plus 8. So 13 plus 8 is math. 21.
21. Both above 20. Both above 20. I'm also going to give you... it's happening exactly as you described. Amanita is held in Isfet's arms as you're warp stepping forward, and the churn of wood, water, earth is just kind of crashing down towards you guys. But it's all of a sudden, it kind of hits the wall of Amanita's spell, and the two of you are able to kind of push it back beyond the entrance. The orcs filing in behind you all, you can see that a lot of them are covered in blood and gore of having fought a lot of the guards, and a few injuries here and there. But you guys are able to kind of hold that back as they are able to file up the stairs, and they're making their way up towards the warehouse. You guys duck in shortly after them. As you kind of make your way in and the spells kind of wear off, the torrent continues, and it kind of like crashes up the stairways, pushing you forward a little bit. You get pretty soaked, right? But it's not enough water that's going to kind of completely derail you, right? Because you did clear the obstacle. Orcs are now slightly ahead of you. There's about 6 of them kind of leading the way out up the stairs. And as they're going, more guards are kind of running back this way. And you also see several orcs who are also upstairs in the warehouse are also running this way. As you guys are now upstairs, as you're making your way upstairs into like one of the longer like switchback staircases that you came down, you're going up and another group is coming down. And then you see the water behind them.
Okay.
What do you guys do?
Okay.
The way this works is that I can sustain it.
You can sustain
it. Is something I can keep doing.
Okay.
Is that suppression? So there's just going to be a bubble around us that is oxygen, as Amanita is suppressing the water. As it hits this bubble, it evaporates. There's like this steam at the edges of the bubble, as it's just like, no.
Okay, Amanita, you are sustaining this as the churn just hits all around you. The room darkens except for the light of Amanita's magic kind of emanating off of it, as all around you is just swirling water and a vortex of destruction and debris. I'm going to give you a little bit of a social thing here, a social prompt, Isfet, because as Amanita is maintaining this, now there are a number of... This orb isn't very big. Amanita, you're only a level 2 character, right? So before we get into this, give me a spell check. Let's see how powerful this is. The first one was already pretty good, so I am considering that.
I'm just a little fella, but this is my... I'm using another fucking hero point because that's another 1. And I'm using a different...
Jesus.
You're going to jail. 1 second. Okay. These are Nori's dice. Hey, buddy. Okay. 17 plus math is... Plus 8 is
25.
Good. Is 25.
Okay, that's real good. Now, just before I jump in here, though, does the spell list any specific like size or anything like that? Or are we kind of going off script with the spell? That's fine too.
500 feet.
500 foot radius, right?
No, 20.
Everybody's fine.
Okay.
20 feet in one direction, though.
Okay.
Not omnidirectional.
Not omnidirectional,
So
yeah.
20 total.
20 total. Okay. 20 total, it's easy enough. Yourself, Isfet, are fine. The rest of the crowd that's kind of coming in, though, there's a bit of a conflict here. The orcs and the guards are obviously cannot agree on who's going to be saved here. So they're pushing against each other, and occasionally a guard manages to push an orc out of the space into the churn, and
No.
occasionally the opposite happens. Isfet, do you want to address this, or do you want help
helping the orcs?
You help the orcs? Okay, sure. Just want to see what you want to do. Okay.
I think it's fully like if one of the guards gets in, it's very much Isfet immediately turns back, and you see as he flicks his wrist, and out of the center that bone protrusion comes out, and he just fires it into one of their faces, so they drop back into the.
They drop back into the churn.
Just this constant and I think the thing is like Ugo didn't yell anything to escape, but I think Ugo is doing the same of like whipping this, because he also has the same moves. So you see the two of them just like as they're protecting, just whipping these essentially like needles into people's faces.
Okay.
Trying to get the orcs to.
I'll say you get you with. Go ahead. Let's have attack roll.
Do you want 2 or do you want 1?
Just the one.
Okay. Attack roll 23.
23 is real good. With a 23, yourself and Ugo are able to kind of keep a lot of the guards who are coming in, and realizing that they're short on space. I mean, these guys are coming in with the intent to survive, right? So it's very much us versus them kind of mentality right now. And as they're coming in, you can see they're going for one of the orcs who's in the midst of like trying to keep debris that's just some of the wood that maybe gets through towards yourself or Amanita, kind of shielding with the body, but you turn around, bam, pop them as they're trying to come around. Okay, successful round here, guys. I'll say with the orcs helping push and you keeping them off, Amanita, you're able to kind of keep that barrier up, and you guys are able to kind of start pushing up through. Or do you guys actually? I'll ask you. Do you want to go trying to go back up through the warehouse or down? Which way do you go? You have to make a decision as it's kind of all crashing in around you.
Up.
Okay.
Isfet just yells up because physics. It's just gonna fall.
Sure.
Like if we stay down here, it'll just flood us out.
Sure.
We'll be trapped underwater.
Okay. You guys start making your way up. At this point with that those checks, I'm fine to say you guys find yourselves like pushing through it goes from dark. There's like a sudden change of darkness to light as you guys get towards the entrance, and as Amanita's spell pushes out towards the entrance, you guys find yourselves now again at the bottom of that like pool, water just churning all around you. The building is clearly like caved in. Several of the vats are floating and drifting and moving towards you. There's debris coming at you guys real fast. Debris coming at you. The whole world seems to be just flooding around you as you guys are now in the remnants of this warehouse, right? A big vat just kind of rolling towards you. What do you guys do? You're now up top. You could try to get to like high ground. I mean, there's still a lot of water. Amanita's maintaining the spell, but you're at the bottom of imagine you're at like the bottom of a sink right now, and water and stuff is draining on towards you.
Yeah. I think Isfet just goes like, high ground now. We have to get up as fast as possible.
Okay. You can try to climb up the walls behind you, or if you have a different way of making it up.
I'm gonna climb.
Okay. So the orcs begin to try to climb as well. Amanita, what are you going to do this round?
We're no longer in the water once climbing is happening?
Correct. You'll like be dropping your spell, and then you'll be like attaching to the wall.
Gotcha.
Being carried if that is what happens for Amanita.
I think I would let them go because I can't climb with another person.
Yeah, that
well.
makes sense.
So I'm like, I can barely climb myself. You got this.
And what are we climbing?
It's kind of like the back wall of the building. The catwalk above is still just kind of like hanging on, but there's sort of a back wall where you can see there's like some heavy supports that are still kind of like holding up some of the mortar, and a few windows that you can kind of use for handholds. But it looks like, at least right now, as the orcs jump to it, they're trying to climb these support beams up to the catwalk.
Okay.
Isfet, you're rolling. You're gonna just climb straight.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Roll
Yeah.
athletics for us.
Athletics. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
You're good.
I have to read a lot.
No,
of
you're good.
things.
Spells. It's a new character, and
Me
this
too.
is
That's why I'm double
high
checking stuff, too.
high anxiety.
Could I argue using Ugo's athletics instead of Isfet's?
Sure, if like Ugo's kind of like creating kind of like a helping
Like-
you.
The way that I imagine it is, it's like Ugo is like first, and it's very much like fist through wall, fist to
Mm.
make like hand holes almost,
Gotcha.
so that Isfet can then follow up those right after
Sure.
him.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Are the walls made of wood?
Yeah, wood and stone. It's like wooden
Okay.
frameworks into the mortar.
23.
23. Yeah, success.
Amanita is going to use its extended kinesis to sculpt the wood of the wall into stairs, which people can
Mm.
follow it up if it wants. But just, it is slowly, no longer toddling with arms out, but rather arms in front of it, pulling each step out one by one, and like a very slow version of how Isfet was chasing it at the beginning of the session. It is now
Mm.
reciprocating by creating this staircase to safety.
Fantastic. Okay, Amanita. Did you roll already?
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna
roll.
need a skill check.
Yeah.
I
I'm
knew it
gonna
was
need a
coming.
skill check.
I'm gonna need a skill check.
This is also spell, I imagine.
Yeah.
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 It's a 14 plus 8 for
22. 22 is
22.
good. 22 is real good. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Haven't lost any orcs either with these rolls being as good as they are. You guys start making your way up, and Amanita, sure enough, you're there. One of the orcs is kind of like, I think Huna is hanging on to the side of the building and kind of reaches down and pulls you up as you release your first spell, and as you turns you in the air and is about to kind of carry you football style, but you pull out the wood, and then it's like, oh shit, and all the orcs start following that little trail upwards.
And now Huna is carrying them. I think probably not football style, but maybe like Simba style.
Like Simba style, yeah. Okay.
Savannah, we need some stairs. Oh, we gotta go.
You guys make it up to the catwalk. Going along the catwalk, you can find a section of the roof that's kind of caved in, and I'm going to allow you guys to get off of the catwalk onto the roof. From up here, you can now see the city proper. And you can see as a massive, unbelievably large tidal wave has swept through. The city, the buildings of the harbor are gone. It is just a churn of debris and water that is just surging through the city of Red Hessel.
Oh, God.
All of the cottages.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Isfet is positioned behind Amanita on this one. So I don't think Amanita sees, as there is a wicked smile shared between Isfet and Ugo, seeing everything like this.
Oof.
Yeah, it once again doesn't look back and therefore misses an opportunity. I think what it is doing is holding Huna's hand because Huna had gripped them or it earlier. It gives Huna's hand a squeeze and asks, "Do you have more family out there?"
Huna's expression is grim as he nods. Yes. Our tribe. Many of our members are out there. But my father looks to you, looks over Amanita, looks to you, Isfet, and says, my father should have been up at the mansion, Lelantos' mansion. And looks back. And you guys, the way the city of Red Hessel was kind of laid out, there's 3 primary districts. There was the Harrows, which are kind of like more of like a shanty town, kind of at the core central part of the city. There was the Harbor District, which was, you know, around the front along the coastline, and where the harbor was. And then there's an area called the Steppes, which were kind of like this very hoity-toity region of the city that kind of extends up the mountains, in like these kind of almost like with these tiers to it. It almost kind of creates like these white stone steps. And Huna gestures up there, and you guys can see that that section of the city is very much overlooking the destruction that is playing out below.
Right. Well, you survived, and that's the important part. So, we need you to gather your forces and, well, don't listen to the false prophet anymore. Spread the word.
Huna looks to you and kind of rests a hand on the symbol. Says, yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. At this point, I think these characters pass through a lot of the events of the last wave atop, you know, on rooftops, making their way from this one before it kind of finally gives way up the steps. You guys make it, you know, into the area of the steps proper when there's a catastrophic earthquake, and the city of Red Hessel seems to drop out from underneath itself and creates this giant landslide. By the time the wave is gone and over and it is all past, what is left is the exterior wall that was around Red Hessel still manages to be standing in most places. The steps along the side of the mountain range, but the central part where the Harrows were, where the harbor was, that has all kind of caved in downwards for miles, kind of creating this long slope, this almost like tiered structure. It kind of drifts down towards. By the end of it, I was going to save it to the sea, but by the end of it, unfortunately, there is no sea. By the end of it, the sea is gone. And what remains as you look out towards the coast is the sand sea. But the sea itself has been dragged across the surface of the world, of the continent.
I think when they finally get like past the earthquakes and past the town,
Yeah.
when the town is gone, there's a moment where Isfet probably dismissed the orcs in a direction to go help /
Yeah.
find other orcs and find people and save them and tell them that like I sent them, essentially. Give my name as the person who sent them to try to bolster. He starts using his resources to try to bolster his name in the immediate aftermath.
Sure. Okay. Good to know.
And once they leave, there is a moment where, and Amanita would be the only witness to this, where Isfet looks at Ugo and goes, well, unexpected, of course. Fun, unexpected. I will see you soon. And fixes the tattered cloth that is on its chest, and Amanita sees as that happens the rip that he stepped out of. Essentially, you watch as the air almost looks like it's folding in on him, and the fabric begins to wrap back around him into almost this like mummied position as he gets like pulled into the rip and disappears from existence again as I demanifest my summon.
Fantastic flavor.
I have never seen a spirit before who could do so much in this world.
Well, he's not really a spirit. He's an old friend. I'm going to be honest with you, Amanita. I don't know, with all the chaos and everything that's gone on in the past few hours, how likely it is that your friend is still alive. I'm worried for them, and I promise you I'll keep an eye, but I don't think it's the right move to go to that mansion right this second.
Amanita looks at the steps, and while Amanita does not know what wealth is, so it cannot appreciate this blatant visual evidence of wealth disparity and the privilege that affords, the extent to which disaster can be afforded if you just have enough money. But even Amanita can see that this is unfair. It looks up. Maikine was taken to the mansion, and Maikine is very powerful. We will find her. If there are things we need to do first, I will trust you, Isfet.
Thank you. And I think Isfet does what he had done earlier and crouches down and puts his hand to Amanita and says, I promise I will help you find Maikine. And here's the thing, I don't break promises, so this is a big thing. You helped me out leaps and bounds today. I'd probably be dead without you. So, in this one instance, one time, I will make you a promise. Once. I swear, I'm not doing it again. I don't care what the situation, I'm not doing it again. This is it. One time. Promise to find them. Deal?
Thank you for your promise, Isfet. It is a treasure, and I will hold it close. And the hand that you've offered, Amanita takes. They kiss each of your palms. And that same lively green, not the green of power, but the green of life, glows for just an instant. Just this faint symbol of a sprout on either palm, then it vanishes.
You are very interesting. Well, we should establish a place to call home for a bit in the wreckage.
A place for planting roots.
Yes, planting roots. We did uproot them technically. Well, the gods did,
Bravo! The same wind through the leaves.
I got you.
Wait, do it again. Yeah.
Right, so we followed your plan, so it worked. The gods just happened to help me this time, which is very rare to hear or see. Oh, that's nice. Not gonna get used to it though. So let's go find a home. and immediately just stands up, is really cheery, and starts walking around. And yeah.
Okay. And with Amanita in tow. All right. This is where we will have a little bit of a time skip then. Okay. As the two characters will be together for some number of weeks in the aftermath of all of this. In the aftermath of all of this, the last wave, as it has become known, things are tense. The community finds itself further divided. The leadership of Caleb de Posto, the sovereign elect, is really non-existent. And meanwhile, rivals to that power continue to become that much more prominent. Amongst these rivalries in the city, though, well, Isfet, these next several weeks, you said you were going to make yourself vital to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I imagine this involves Amanita's aid somehow, but what?
Absolutely, it
Give me an
does.
idea of how the two of you go about making Isfet vital to the city, or to
So
the
I think-
survivors of the city. Yeah.
I think the first thing that he does is he establishes a like main base of operations, and he finds, I would say, like a building that had been knocked down but not fully destroyed,
Okay.
that still has like livable space inside, and he kind of converts it into a living space for the two of them. And it's very bare bones, very like not nice, but he wants to make sure it is within the destruction zone, so that like
Sure.
people know that there is a place within the destruction to find like comfort.
Sure.
And I think the main thing that Isfet kind of does in this time is he, seeing that Amanita is very good at growing and creating water and destroying water, Isfet begins to essentially ask Amanita to create as much food and water as possible to give to people and to start spreading his name. And I think it becomes this thing of, after a while, like even in the efforts of like immediately after, he's sending the orcs to go help in his name, not in Lelantos's name, and they are making sure, and he's like, make sure that they are saying his name, he sent them, not Lelantos. And that Isfet is the one that actually cares about the community, and he's trying to essentially start spreading seeds of doubt, like he was told to do, is uproot and then plant seeds.
Sure.
He's planting those first seeds of doubt in the community with Lelantos' criminal underground, and trying to create his own criminal underground.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Let's get a let's get a few let's get a diplomacy check here.
Okay.
Can I use the aid action?
Yeah.
In part because, so with base kinesis, Amanita can generate water just unendingly, essentially. There's no limit on it. However, with fresh produce, if it isn't eaten in the next turn, it withers away. So for giving out food, Amanita and Isfet are like in the city, going door to door doing that. So this is like literal. This is like politician handshaking, right?
Yeah. Go and meeting people where they're at, kind of thing. Door to door
I
campaign.
think one thing that I wanted to add to is that one thing that is noted about Isfet in this time is, even though the world has been like thrown into mud and dirt and like nothing is clean, it is strange because the two of them always look clean, because I every day cast prestidigitation on the two of us to make us look very clean and presentable.
Nice.
And it's almost this oddity within this world now.
Yeah, I would say so. During our time after the zero session, before the actual session, I think the community's gonna have a fun little name for you guys, like the Clean Grocers or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, some weird nickname.
Yeah, some weird nickname that they refer to you all as. Okay, yeah. So Amanita, normally I'd have you roll a diplomacy check to aid because it's gonna match the check.
I can do that. I'm good at diplomacy.
Oh, well, in that case, please do.
I think it's weird The thing about Amanita, and like it can also grow things, and like
Yeah.
it has abilities in lore herbalism, so we can also have a garden. But like, there's something really special about the fact that it's growing healing plants too, right? So
Mhm.
I think it is prioritizing those who are damaged. So the first thing people in the community see are like a kid with like a scratched cheek, that cheek just healing, right? Like going to someone who, you know, seems to like be coughing and like have like some sort of visible damage. The cough disappears, right? The posture straightens. Like I think that its diplomacy is this weird um just it is the sense of tending,
Yeah.
right? Like it's now its garden is these people.
Yeah. Yeah. That works for me, especially too, given the is it Curando background too?
Curandero, yeah.
Curandero, yeah.
Which also means that I'm good at fixing diseases if we come across
Oh,
those, and I
good to
feel like
know.
we might.
We might actually come
Um,
across those.
For diplomacy, 17 plus 7 for 24.
24. Okay.
Aid.
Yeah. So that'll be a success. So that'll be a +1 to the aid.
And I had to use a hero point.
Okay.
So I rolled again. I got 17 plus 8 for my diplomacy. So
Plus the 1, so 26 total. That's
26,
really good. Yeah, you guys are making a really good name for yourself. I would say the name you make for yourself is good enough that you actually do create a significant schism in the Horned Crown Orcs as well. So the Horned Crown Orc tribe, Huna tries to spread the word to the tribe as well about you. And a few members do come over, but there's a few holdouts. A few like traditional ones who say, well, Lelantos has the ring, has the signet ring with the symbol, right? That's where we're supposed to be alleged to or aligned with, whereas you're like the actual guy. But there's enough of a division there. But I think with that success, with that roll, you do get a few members in. You also find a good place, and your reputation in town is quite good. So
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think Isfet, it's very much like there is a like I'm going to like say this. There's a Disney style montage in the mornings of their lives where it's like both of them wake up and it's like they start walking the street and it's like people are like, oh hey, it's Isfet and Amanita. And it's just like, oh hello everybody, and it's like very just like, oh did your building fall? I'll get somebody on that. And it's like very much like this like heel turn of the man that you saw in like murder somebody a month ago by drowning them in poison, essentially.
Yeah. I know you mentioned mourning, which is an important thing to mention. Since the last wave, there is no more mourning. The world is now in that perpetual day and night lock. So it has permanently been nighttime since the last wave.
One other thing I wanted to add, which Amanita would see this right after when it goes dark. Isfet, the white in Isfet's eyes is now gone, and it is all black, and he has his night vision on, and there's no more white in his eyes. It's just all black except for the golden color to his eye. And so he's looking around in the darkness, and you can tell that he can see perfectly fine, whether it be light or dark.
That's so like the synergy is perfect. I think there's this notion of like Amanita looks into Isfet's eyes and sees like a perfect sun in the middle of a dark night sky, and theirs in turn continue those constellations, and you can see that there are like little lights threading through the constellations, making them like explicit in its eyes, and its dark vision is also utilized now constantly. This little fungus.
Everybody's got dark vision.
I can see.
Okay. So guys, as we close out our session here, the last thing that happens the last thing that happens here in our session tonight is the bells of the Liberty Citadel ring out over the ruined city of Red Hessel for the first time since the Sovereign-elect's initial address after the first wave. For the first time since the unimaginable destruction of the last wave that sank Red Hessel into a citywide landslide. For the first time since the world stopped turning and permanent night has fallen. So the question on everyone's mind as they emerge from their makeshift shelters and they file into the now cleared passageways that they call streets is very similar. Folks wonder, are these about to be the last words of a dying republic? Many know that while those loyal to Sovereign-elect Caleb DePosto are somewhat involved in the management and distribution of essentials, the true hand behind those resources is the once crime boss turned philanthropist, Lelantos. People also know that...
Same plan.
Same plan. He's been doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They also know that Caleb's dwindling militia garners little respect compared to those pledged to the Patriots Blade mercenary band, commanded by Daedric Bond. And that despite the blatant exploitation of the former Tempest Isle prisoners to bolster his numbers to protect against the Brahm, everyone knows that the tribes actually swear fealty solely to their own ruler, the young Kabok Stormborn. With the exception of the Horn Crowns, some of them who swear fealty to Isfet. But alas, now devoid of resources, devoid of power, and devoid of respect, all having dissolved in the last 5 months, leaves people to wonder about the future of Omeron. Isfet and Amanita. We're time skipping to the point where you two are brought into custody by one Arno Greydane. Arno is the leader of what remains of Red Hessel's last true loyal soldiers. A man who looks older than he probably is, as he's been aged by the unending conflict. He's got quite a lot of gray going on where should not be. But he has kind of a grizzled veteran persona to him. And he's brought you two into custody at the explicit order of Caleb. At this explicit order of the Sovereign-elect, the two of you are brought to the Citadel. And you are currently placed in a tower. And you are watching as from the window of a tower as crowds are gathering, as the bells are ringing. And just as Caleb is set to take the stage here, what are some closing thoughts from the two of you?
Can I ask a question?
Please do.
Did they figure out I have my weapons on me? I've just been hiding them really well.
What do I have to roll?
I
rolled a 3 on the dice, so I'm going to say no.
Well, probably not. Let me just double check it. What does it say? Yeah. A creature can use the seek action to examine you and disbelieve the illusion. DC 15.
Yeah. With the 3, no. He ain't going to notice you.
Yeah, so
Or
I think
DC 15,
I think
I don't have
I
a plus
think
12 modifier.
final thoughts for Isfet are escape / a new plan. And it's this thing that I believe Amanita probably is used to now, spending as much time as it has with Isfet. He'll do this thing where he'll mutter to himself a plan, but then he'll start negating what he's saying and saying, no, that won't work because of, and he's talking out every possibility in the moment. And it's this thing that he just kind of does. It's a tick of his where he will start doing it, and I think he is trying to figure out the best way to get the both of them out. Because he does care for Amanita now.
Oh, if that's the last thought for Isfet, then the last thought for Amanita is Amanita noticing this, taking this in, and I think it's unusual for Amanita to be terribly expressive. Isfet has seen the closest thing to its heartache when we saw the dead Leshy. And I think this fond look comes over its face. Are there any guards around?
You guys are left in this room alone. Arno was in there, sat down, about to interrogate you all. Someone came in, whispered something to him. He left in a huff and told you guys to stay.
Knowing that... Yeah. Okay, so
don't leave. We're locking the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're alone. And Amanita has seen by now that when they are in public, there is this persona that Isfet has. And watching it fall away for Isfet to start planning, and hearing that those plans involve Amanita, Amanita goes up to Isfet and wraps their little fronds around his hand, looks up. Isfet.
Yes.
You wear your smile like armor. And I thank you for taking off your armor when it is just us.
Well, that's because you've gained rare trust from me. But we have to figure out a way out of here. So any suggestions would be great, because I'm running out of ideas. I could stab a guard, but that would probably make them mad. Oh, by the way, and I think as he says that, he reaches behind him to this space that you have seen him probably guard a couple of times when people are around, but never really grab, and he pulls out of a sheath a blade that just appears out of nowhere, and he just slides it back into place and turns a ring for like a minute, and then it disappears again. And he's like, okay, I snuck stuff in here that we should not have, so we have to figure out a way out of here soon, or they will find it, and I'm fucked.
I will not let them fuck you.
Okay, great.
And on that note, we will pick up with these characters in a few weeks at session 1 of New World Rebellion.
I can't wait.
For that shit.
Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amanita and Isfet are absolutely awesome. You guys are zeroed in on them right away. It's perfect. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you've enjoyed the session. Before we head out, let's just do a quick round of goodbyes with our players here. Let's start with Isfet.
Hi, I'm Adam, or tonight I played Isfet. He, they pronouns for both of us. You can find me anywhere online. That's under the name Mr. Adam. That's MRADDUP. I voice act. I cosplay. I play TTRPGs. You can find me here playing Elder Taruk. And that is it.
All right, Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I've played Amanita, whose pronouns are it, its, and we got better. We all got better as we went on. When I'm not playing Amanita, I play Cressida over in Unearthed Inheritance on this channel as well. And when I'm not on this channel, you can find me over on Tales Archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign, where I play Ekanisha Belrose. That's me.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these characters. Guys, I've been your GM this evening. My name is David. My pronouns are he, him. I am the GM of, so far, all of the Heroes of Histaeria games here on this channel. That includes New World Rebellion. That includes Unearthed Inheritance. That includes Sansi Saga. All 3 campaigns happening God, we did it again.
Concurrently.
Concurrently. So check them all out. And then you can also catch me over at Tales Archived when I play Whistle, the Hobgoblin Fighter in the Known Realms to Lush campaign every Sunday.
Yeah.
That's me. Guys, we hope to see you around next week for, who's next? Hazel and Fenrir?
Yeah, I
Do
think.
it. Be
Hazel
there.
and Fenrir.
Be
yeah.
there. I know I will.
Be there. All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.